Commission on Administrative Justice Act, Cap 7J, and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons to the Commission on Administrative Justice. 1, Mr. Charles Orinda Dulo, Chairperson. Honorable Charles Njagwa Kanyi, Member. And 3, Ms. Dorothy Jemator Kimengich, Member. Honorable members, how many are in favor? For those who are in favor of putting the question, will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. So I will now put the question. Honorable members, I now put the question that taking into consideration the findings and the finding of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs in its report on the vetting of nominees for appointments as chairperson and members of the Commission on Administrative Justice, laid on the table of this House on Tuesday, 26 November 2024, and pursuant to Article 252B of the Constitution as read together with Section 11(7) of the Commission of Administrative Justice Act, Cap 7J, and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons to the Commission on Administrative Justice. 1, Mr. Charles Orinda Dulo as chairperson. 2, Honorable Charles Njagwa Kanyi as member. And 3, Ms. Dorothy Jemator Kimengich as member. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. What's your point of order?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I know we all want to pass these motions. It's important they are passed. But I think even the procedure is important, Honorable Speaker. This is a very important motion on an independent commission. And I get very surprised when such an important commission comes to this House, and the only thing we can do is put the question without any comment from any side of the House, Honorable Speaker. I wish just got 2 people to comment, or 3, so that as a House we also look good. Chairman of this committee, you can tell us that you bring this to the plenary, and when you bring it to the plenary, you want to prosecute your own report and get it approved without even any debate. For an important commission like Gender Commission, and we have so many issues relating to the gender issues. Honorable Speaker, I think this is really unfair.
Honorable Makalu.
No, serious not.
Honorable
This is what makes this House look very bad.
Honorable Makalu, I think you're making allegations against the House, which we are using the same procedure that we normally use. So I'll ask that we move to the next order, Order 14.
Order number 13, special motion, consideration of nominees for appointment to the Independent Policing Oversight Authority.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that taking into consideration the finding of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security in its report in the vetting of nominees for appointment as chairpersons and as members of the Board of Independent Policing Authority, Oversight Authority, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 26 November 2024, and pursuant to Article 252B of the Constitution, as read together with Section 11(6) of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, Act Cap 86, and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointment and Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons to the Board of Independent Policing Oversight Authority. 1, Mr. Hamed Isaac Hassan, CBS, as a chairperson. 2, Anne Wanjigo Mwangi as a member. 3, Dr. Mika Onyego Nyakego, PhD, OGW as a member. 4, Mr. Boniface Kipkemoi Samati as a member. 5, Dr. Annette Mudola Mbogo as a member. 6, Honorable John Mushiri Nyaga HSC as a member. And Mr. Ken Williams Nyakomita, OGW as a member. And Ms. Jacqueline Lucalo Mwenezi as a member. Honorable Speaker, I via communication on Wednesday, 13 November 2024, conveyed the message from His Excellency the President to the House nominating the said persons for the said positions. Subsequently, the message from His Excellency the President containing the names of the nominee together with their curriculum vitae was referred to the Departmental Committee to undertake approval hearing in accordance with Section 6 of the Public Appointments Act, number 33 of 2021, and the Standing Orders 216.5F of the National Assembly Standing Orders, and a table report in the House pursuant to Section 8 of the Public Appointment Act, number 33 of 2021, and the constitutional and statutory requirement relating to the offices in question. Of course, the stability of the nominees for a proposed appointment relating to the offices in question, stability of the nominees, their abilities, experience, and qualities needed for the office in question. To be specific, IPOA. Further, the committee examined the nominees' academic credentials, relevant professional trainings, work experience, knowledge of the sector issues, and personal integrity in accordance to Section 6, 7, and 8 of the Public Appointment and Parliamentary Approval Act 33 of 2021. Honorable Speaker, this notification was followed up with letters to the nominees inviting them to attend the approval hearing and requesting them to submit their complete questionnaires set out in the schedule. Together with the clearance certificate from Ethics and Corruption, KRA, HELP, DCI, and ORPP. Honorable Speaker, relax, pause. Honorable Speaker, the advisement indicated their submission were to be also on that date, and pursuant to the provision of Article 118, Honorable Speaker, the National Assembly Standing Order Clerk of Assembly way of advisement, we did in the print media notify the general public of the intention of committee to conduct the approval hearing and asking them to submit memorandum. And I want to report, Honorable Speaker, that of all the 8 members, we received no memorandum against any, Honorable Speaker. And the Honorable Speaker, the committee on Friday banned the midnight oil to do the approval hearing of all the 8 members. And having carefully and thoroughly vetted or undertook the hearing, Honorable Speaker, the committee was so much overwhelmed, overwhelmingly impressed by the level of experience, intellect of all the 8 nominees, Honorable Speaker. And I want to be very specific here, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Isaac Hassan, who was appointed for the position of the chairperson, is a holder of, is a master's degree holder in policy and administration. Of course, he's a lawyer by training, and is well known as the father of IBC. We all remember very well this great Kenyan. And he had served in several managerial positions. He has done a lot of consultancy, even actually including in the UN and several international organizations.
You know, Honorable Chair,
the second,
the members have actually read the report. It's rather you speak less and give a chance to members to contribute, so that members don't feel you're the only one who has spoken on this point. So cede the time to the other people to contribute.
So, Honorable Speaker, as you directed, I want to say that the committee was satisfied in the issue of their stability of all the members, their stability of the members, their experience, their skills, and even more importantly also their integrity, having looked into the testimonial presented by government agencies. And with this, Honorable Speaker, I've got no doubt that the 8 persons are the best fitted to serve in IPOA and transform the institution as the civilian oversight to look into the accountability of our police service, who many a times has been accused, a few has been accused by the public. So there's 8 persons in the assessment and in the wisdom of this committee are the best people suited for the job. Honorable Speaker, with all this, I beg to move, and I now request the Honorable Francis Igei to second the motion. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, I want to rise to support my chairman's report and second what he has given to this House. Madam Speaker, all of them, all the nominees, without exception, did exceptionally well. Madam Speaker, we are very sure and assured as a country that under the stewardship of Mr. Isaac Hassan, who is a renowned lawyer of international repute, this IPOA, which plays a very critical role in oversighting the police, is going to play a very important role. We rely on this committee, on this authority, and Madam Speaker, I want to second. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security in its report on the vetting of the nominees for appointment as chairperson and members of the board of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, laid on the table of this House on Tuesday, the 26th of November, 2024, and pursuant to Article 250, Clause 2B of the Constitution, as read together with Section 11(6) of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority Act, Cap 86, and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons to the board of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority. 1, Mr. Ahmed Isaac Hassan, CBS, as chairperson. 2, Ms. Anne Wanjiku Mwangi as member. 3, Dr. Mika Ayengo Nyakengo, PhD, OGW, as member. 4, Mr. Boniface Kipkemboi Samati as member. 5, Dr. Annette Mudulo Mbogo as member. 6, Honorable John Mushiri Nyaga, HSC, as member. 7, Mr. Ken Williams Nyakomita, OGW, as member. And 8, Ms. Jacqueline Lukalo Mwenesi as member. We can just give maybe 3 members a chance to speak, and maybe you can take 2 minutes each. Honorable Makale Muli. But like I said, if we want to be considerate, I think it would be nice if the chairpersons allow the members to speak so that they are not the ones debating it by themselves. Then it becomes, the members will feel more included. Yes, Makale Mulu.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I really want to appreciate you are ruling to have a few members make a contribution to this important motion. Honorable Speaker, you know what we are discussing is independent commissions, and these are constitutional commissions, Honorable Speaker, which are actually playing a very key role in this country. And it is very important that the House pronounces itself on the issues of who are going to manage these institutions. Honorable Speaker, IPOA has been in existence for some time now, since we got this new constitution in 2013. And Honorable Speaker, I just want to raise about 3 issues relating to IPOA. We've seen in terms of performance, Honorable Speaker, there has been issues where a lot of Kenyans have complained to IPOA in terms of what the general police is doing to them. And I think in terms of how they have delivered in finalizing the cases, there has been issues, Honorable Speaker. And we would want to encourage the new commission which is coming on board, Honorable Speaker, the commissioners, to make sure that even as they look at their work, as they do their work, because they will have a lot of work, matters, doing it in a timely manner is important for Kenyans. The second point, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of regional representation. The Constitution demands that when we are doing these commissions, Honorable Speaker, we need to be very keen on regional representation. And Honorable Speaker, there has been this matter where, since these things are coming here one by one, like now we have done the Gender Commission, now we are doing IPOA, I think time has come, Honorable Speaker, when as a House, because we oversight the executive, we started looking at these things in totality. We need to look at all the independent commissions and look at how is Kenya represented in these commissions in totality. Because, Honorable Speaker, we've seen a trend where a number of regions are actually being left out. There is exclusion of some regions. And this we cannot be promoting Kenya as a country when we have these issues. The third issue, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of gender representation. I think in terms of totality also, we need to find out how is gender represented in these commissions. Because to me, unless we address this in totality, then some regions and some gender will be disadvantaged. And now I wish, Honorable Speaker, that could be done as we now get to because now 6 years have ended for most commissions, that the chairs of this, the people oversighting and the people vetting can actually start looking at the totality. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support. Thank you.
The Honorable Dorothy Kiara.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to commend the Committee on Administration and Internal Security. And having listened to the chair, Madam Speaker, I am convinced and satisfied that this particular committee did due diligence, and I'm too well satisfied that the nominees, the 8 nominees, satisfy the requirement of being appointed as members of this particular committee. Madam Speaker, I too support, and I want to urge the 8 nominees to work for Kenyans diligently and serve Kenyans impartially, so that at the end of the day, we shall have a country that is run by the rule of law. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Member for South Mukirango.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also want to support this report by the committee, the Departmental Committee on Administration, Honorable Speaker, and put the facts straight. I have heard my colleague, Honorable Makali Mulu, say that appointments must have the face of Kenya. This is the true face of Kenya that I see here, Honorable Speaker. With the positions, when positions are 8, it is practically impossible to have 45 members of different communities feature in, Honorable Speaker. What then happens is that regions are considered. When you look at the Northeastern, Honorable Speaker, it is here. When you look at the Central Kenya, Honorable Speaker, it is here. When you look at Eastern, it is here, Honorable Speaker. When you look at Nyanza, it is here. When you look at Rift Valley, it is here. Honorable Speaker, this is the true reflection of what really the face of Kenya looks like. He also talked about the gender, Honorable Speaker. I think he must have been reading the wrong list, Honorable Speaker, because with the list that has been presented here, Honorable Speaker, we have 3 awesome ladies, 3 awesome ladies among from the 8, Honorable Speaker. That clearly shows, Honorable Speaker, that this appointment really featured, or rather considered, gender balance, Honorable Speaker. But more importantly, the challenge to the committee, the challenge to this oversight authority, Honorable Speaker, is now the workload that is ahead of them. The President made himself clear here. He pronounced himself against police abductions, illegal police abductions. We need to see this IPOA or this authority clearly showing us how they are going to curb the abductions that are done by the police, Honorable Speaker. It is very important. Number two, Honorable Speaker, we need the IPOA not only to look at the mistakes or the challenges that are done by the police, Honorable Speaker, but also to check on their welfare. Some of the police officers, Honorable Speaker, are suffering from mental health. Some of them have actually remained in one job group, or rather in one rank, Honorable Speaker, for over 20 years. IPOA should not only be looking at the messes that are done by the police, but they should also defend the police against some bosses who look down upon them, some bosses who, seek favors, of course, maybe in kind or others in bribes, Honorable Speaker, to have them promoted or to have them supported, to push for promotion. So with those remarks, Honorable Speaker, I beg to support. Thank you very much.
Okay, and I'll give the Honorable Kasim Tandaza, member for Matuga.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, ninasimama kuunga mkono uteuzi wa maafisa wa IPOA. Ijapokuwa bado nina shauku ikija katika utekelezaji wa katiba ambayo unatambua maeneo yale ambayo yako Kenya. Hata wakati Mheshimiwa Osoro akitoa hotuba yake akichangia, amezungumza maeneo, akazungumza bonde la Ufa, akazungumza mlima Kenya, lakini yeye mwenyewe kwa ufasaha wake hakuzungumzia eneo la Pwani, kwa sababu anajua kwamba katika eneo la Pwani ni eneo moja ambalo wateuzi kama huu unapotokea kawaida huwa halitajwi, kawaida huwa halitambuliki. Kwa hivyo nikiunga mkono, ningetaka tuzingatie katiba inavyotaka kwamba maeneo ni 8, iwapo basi nafasi ni 8, tuweze kuwa na uteuzi kwa kila eneo tukijua kwamba maeneo ni 8. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hiyo.
The Honorable Member for Trans Nzoia, Honorable Lilian Sioi. You already spoke to this, Honorable Osoro. Would you allow the member to make their contribution? Because she's the last one. Okay, what's your point of order? There is a point of information.
No, it's a point of order, Honorable Speaker, because the Honorable Tandaza has misled this House that whenever appointments are brought before this House, that people from the coast are never considered. And his pronoun is so loud, Honorable Speaker, on that. Number one, I wanted to inform Honorable Speaker that appointments are not just looked in isolation. They are looked on wholesomely. It is this very House, Honorable Speaker, that approved the appointment of a CS from two CSs from Coast, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable Hassan Joho and the Honorable Mvuri, Honorable Speaker. They are from Coast, Honorable Speaker. Looking at this list, Honorable Speaker, one member is actually from Coast, Honorable Speaker. Annette Mudola Mbogo is from Coast. He needs to check his facts very well, because, you can't mislead this House, Honorable Speaker. And you must
informed.
Exactly.
And I think he will withdraw his statement, your remark. Honorable Tandaza. Because the public is listening to you.
Mheshimiwa Speaker, sioni haja ya kutoa matamshi yangu kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Osoro amezungumza vizuri kwamba niangaliwe kwa pamoja. Na ukiangalia kwa pamoja, ikiwa tutaendelea kukagua wale ambao wameweza kuteuliwa katika nyadhifa mbalimbali, ni ukweli kwamba eneo la Pwani huwa mara nyingi, na nasema kwa kawaida, huwa halipo. Na huo ndio ukweli ulivyo. Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Honorable Tandaza, we are talking about the current set of nominees. We are not talking about, now you're bringing in a different motion. Yes, Honorable Sioi, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance. I want to support the nomination and approval of the below nominees, and more so to be specific on one Anne Wanjiku Mwangi, who comes from my county and has been a nominated MCA previously. I want to assure this House that Anne Wanjiku Mwangi is one dedicated lady who is up to the task, and given opportunity, I know she can perform so well because she has always done the best when she was in Trans Nzoia. So, Madam Speaker, I want to applaud and appreciate and thank the President for this nomination and thank the committee for approving her. And I know she's going to do the best. Thank you.
I think the mover will reply, I think.
Honorable Speaker, I want first to really appreciate members for debating objectively the nomination and approval of the 8 of them. And of course, it's true, as put by majority of members, IPOA is a very crucial institution. It is a civilian oversight that hold our police officers, our uniform officers to account when they go wrong. But at the same breath, Honorable Speaker, I want to correct what the whip had just said about our police officers doing abduction. Honorable Speaker, according to our constitution and our acts, our police officers are professional, they don't abduct, Honorable Speaker.
I think, Honorable Tongoyo, you are misunderstanding what the South Mugirango MP said. He said at the moment when there's a lot of discussions about abductions, he hopes that the incoming police oversight, independent policing oversight authority will step up because it's actually their job to deal with the issue of abductions, and the complaints on abductions should actually be directed at them. Or if there is challenge, if it is presumed that it is the police, and also if it is presumed that the police were in illegal killings. So that is, so he was just saying it in that jest.
Yeah.
He didn't accuse.
Yeah, I want just to be on record, Honorable Speaker.
Yes, but he did
that
not
our
accuse
police officers are professionals. They don't object or abduct. Abductions are done by the criminals, and it's the duty of police officers to pursue. And of course, if there are rogues, a few officers that are unprofessional and unethical, it is the role of IPOA to step in and do what is expected of them. And I've got no doubt that the 8 are competent Kenyans, suitable with skills and experience to do the job assigned to them. And with this, Honorable Speaker, I beg to reply.
Honorable members, I now put the question that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security in its report on the vetting of nominees for appointment as chairperson and members of the board of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, laid on the table of this House on Tuesday, the 26th of November 2024, and pursuant to Article 252B of the Constitution, as read together with Section 11(6) of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority Act, Cap 86, and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons to the board of the Independent Policing Oversight Authority. 1, Mr. Hamed Isaac Hassan, CBS, as chairperson. 2, Ms. Anne Wanjiku Mwangi, as member. 3, Dr. Mika Ayego Nyakengo, PhD, OGW, as member. 4, Mr. Boniface Kipkemoi Samati, as member. 5, Dr. Annette Mudalo Mbogo, as member. 6, Honorable John Mushiri Nyaga, HHC, as member. And 7, Mr. Ken Williams Nyakomita, OGW, as member. And 8, Ms. Jacqueline Lukalo Mwenesi, as member. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 15, special motion, consideration of nominees for appointment to the National Gender and Equality Commission.
The chairperson for the Departmental Committee on Social Protection, or Honorable Hilary Koski, you're the one standing in. Okay.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection in its report on the vetting of nominees for appointment as chairperson and as a member of the National Gender and Equality Commission, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 26th November 2024, and pursuant to Article 250 of the Constitution, Section 117 of the National Gender and Equality Act, Cap 7K, and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 75, this House approves the appointment of the following persons to the National Gender and Equality Commission: Honorable Rehema Dida Jaldesa, Chairperson; Mr. Michael Nzomo Mbituka as member. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Article 250 of the Constitution, as read with Section 11 of the National Gender and Equality Commission Act, His Excellency the President notified the National Assembly of the nomination of the Honorable Rehema Dida Jaldesa and Mr. Michael Nzomo Mbituka for appointment as chairperson and member of the Gender and Equality Commission, respectively. Madam Speaker, in compliance with Article 118B of the Commission and Section 4 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, the committee placed advertisement on the media on Thursday, 14th November 2024, informing members of the public of the nomination, date and time, and place of the approval hearing. The committee invited the public to submit memoranda by way of written submissions, and the committee had not received any memorandum from the public contesting the appointment of the nominees' suitability. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Speaker, having considered all factors and having gone through the approval hearing and gotten records from the independent arms, EACC, KRA, and all the other bodies, the committee found that the two members, the Honorable Dida Jaldesa, Rehema Dida Jaldesa, and the Honorable Mbituka are suitable for this appointment, Madam Speaker. And I move and beg, I beg to move and request Honorable Wainaina Wambugo to second.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd like to second this one. Madam Speaker, I was there in that meeting, and we vetted those two members, and they were very qualified to do that on Gender and Equality Commission. Thank you. I second.
Have you seconded, Member for Udhaya?
I second.
Okay, honorable members. Honorable members. Order, Honorable Osoro. Honorable members, I therefore propose that, taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection in its report of the vetting of nominees for the appointment of chairperson and a member of the National Gender and Equality Commission, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 26 November 2024, and pursuant to Article 230 of the Constitution, Section 11(7) of the National Gender and Equality Act, Cap 7K, and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons to the Gender and Equality Commission. 1, Honorable Rehema Dida Jaldesa, Chairperson, and 2, Mr. Michael Nzomo Mbituka, Member. This is a very important commission. We will give a few members, starting with the Leader of Majority.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Speaker, sorry. I'm used to the Speaker chairing the Committee of the Whole. Honorable Speaker, thank you for this opportunity, and I rise to support the nomination of Honorable Rehema Jaldesa, who we served with in the 11th Parliament. Was it 11th or 12th? 12th Parliament. 12th Parliament, representing the people of Isiolo. As chairperson, and Mike Konzomo Mbithuka as a member of the National Gender and Equality Commission. Honorable Speaker, in this day and age of what has been christened as femicide, but literally what is just plain and simple murder of young women and our women in the country, this commission has its work cut out. But in the person, Honorable Speaker, this commission, together with the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, have done absolutely nothing in advancing the work that they were charged to do. And, Honorable Speaker, I am saying this because this NGEC Commission and NCIC, of all commissions that were instituted by the new constitution or that came into being under the 2010 constitution, these two commissions have been the most useless and lackluster of commissions, constitutional commissions. I say that because now this commission is getting new leadership. And I do hope that the Honorable Jaldesa, as chairperson and as a former member of parliament, will give life to this commission. Because if she doesn't, then we will get to know that this commission then has no work. And indeed, when we embarked on the National Dialogue Committee's work earlier this year, many people appeared before the committee proposing the dissolution of this particular commission and NCIC, and combining all their work under the Kenya Human Rights Commission. And probably with time, Honorable Speaker, and I am saying this as a challenge to the new leadership of this commission, to up their game. Should they not up their game, we should be asking the country to consider dissolving this commission, that of NCIC, and consolidating all their functions under the Kenya Human Rights Commission, because there is some level of duplicity in their functions, especially this NGEC and the Kenya Human Rights Commission, Honorable Speaker. But I rise to support and challenge these new members, these new commissioners, to up their game, make this commission serve the purpose that it was intended to serve under the 2010 Constitution. Failure to which, Honorable Speaker, I would say we have served them notice, and the Kenyan people had served them notice under NADCO. If you go through the NADCO report, you'll see many people are concerned about the duplicity of the work done by NCIC, the National Gender and Equality Commission, and the Commission of Kenya Human Rights Commission. Therefore, I support with those reservations that I have recorded, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable members, I see there is a lot of interest on this one, so I'll cap a maximum of 3 minutes to each member so that we get as many to speak on this motion. Minority Whip.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, first of all, let me indicate that we are in the 16 days of activism on gender-based violence, whose theme is to order in the world. And Madam Speaker, I just want to indicate that we are very happy that when we are discussing this, both the speakers have been women, and I've wanted to compliment you that both of you have been exceptionally smart today. Madam Speaker, because my time is short, I just want to say that I agree with the minority leader that the gender commission, majority leader, it means I've already taken over your job. But I want to say that, Madam Speaker, NGEC is not doing its work efficiently. Both him and I have at some point or the other served in the budget committee. It is because they are severely underfunded. So we cannot severely underfund them and expect them to do good work. Please fund them and they will do excellent work. Madam Speaker, because again of a short time, I'm hoping they will prioritize the issue of femicide. Too many of our girls are being killed, and we need to look at it. Madam Speaker, I hope they will prioritize the issue of discrimination. I am told in Kiambu County, 25 women have been stopped from voting because they are nominated. It's unconstitutional, it is discriminatory, and it is unfortunate what one of the MCAs talked about, that the women, nominated women, which then includes me because I was also nominated, that the only thing we bring is between our legs. We bring that one as well, of course, but we also bring our heads. Because you cannot pretend we don't have things. Even you have things beneath your legs. Madam Speaker, I'd also want to indicate, no, you will not intimidate us with such issues. Madam Speaker, I'd also want to say...
Order, members.
Madam Speaker, they are trying to distract...
Honorable Millie, it is a point of order from the majority leader. I will allow.
No, Honorable Speaker, I rise on a point of order because of the issue. You know, I'm from Kiambu County, and I am a very good supporter of women leaders. And I would not condone the kind of talk that I also heard from that particular MCA, who represents a ward in Kiambu constituency, Kiambu town constituency. However, there is we must also be careful not to admonish people based on social media propaganda, because we are all subjected to the same social media propaganda. The things that you see being said about those things about in between the legs, I have actually confirmed with nominated members of the County Assembly of Kiambu that that particular MCA never uttered those words. He may have, and he actually did speak to what Honorable Millie is alluding to, that nominated members of parliament and senators and MCAs vote on county matters, on just like senators don't vote on county bills, that nominated MCAs should not vote on ward-related bills and motions in the assembly, which is unconstitutional. But it is just the ignorance of an MCA, and I would ask the Honorable Mashua to take him through some tutelage, but just to correct the information that the derogatory things that are being reported on social media, I am told is propaganda, and I have confirmed that from women MCAs in Kiambu, because I had taken particular interest in protecting women in the Kiambu County Assembly. Because we nominated women, most of them are nominated by UDA. And
that sounded more like a point of information, and I don't want us to make contributions through point of order. So I will give you Honorable Kaluma if it is a point of order. But if it's information, you wait for your chance to contribute.
Yes, because I want to contribute, Malady. Malady, not Malady. It's how we call lady judges, Malady, not my lady. But Honorable Speaker, Honorable Millie is on record as saying women, especially women in leadership, don't just bring between their legs, but their head also. Honorable Speaker, we hear what Honorable Millie is saying, and every Kenyan watching hears what this thing between the legs, Honorable Millie, is talking about. I don't think, Honorable Speaker, that is a parliamentary kind of language. It is sexualizing women, in my view, and it diminishes women when in fact our intent is to uphold the integrity of women and competence beyond matters of sex and gender. I wanted to request that we don't allow that on record, and we request Honorable Millie that beyond the comic relief that be withdrawn. I have my wife, I have my daughter, I have my mother, they are all alive.
You have made your point.
To be measured that way.
You have made your point. We shall not allow more. Honorable Millie, you have had the members on points of order. Kindly.
And I hope to have my time. Madam Speaker, there are many serious issues raised in jest. And I want to say that it's a matter of fact that I am coming here with things beneath my leg. Let's not pretend. But you shall not use it against me, because I did not bring it here for any other purpose rather than the God-given, that it is annexed to me. Otherwise, I would have left it in the house. But you shall not use it, because I don't use it for purposes, any other purposes, than because it's annexed, Madam Speaker. But other than that, Madam Speaker, I just want to say that members have also raised the issue of ethnic representation in the commission. And I want to agree that what Honorable McCallum had said, and we've said it before in the House, that if we look at the commissions in totality, we might actually discover that there are areas that may be marginalized. So I agree, as a person who is concerned about equality and equity, and I'm speaking even when I know there are people from my region here, it does not exclude the fact that we must include the whole country. And I want to indicate, Madam Speaker, that I'm a very proud person today, even as a woman leader, that in this week, 2 of my mentees have gotten appointments even without my intervention, because I did excellent mentorship. One of them in the policing, Annette Mbogo, and the other one, Watila. In 1 week, Madam Speaker, it speaks to my good leadership. So if you are, I'm seeing the majority leader is saying broad-based, please, let us make sure we listen to Kenyans, deal with what Kenyans are saying. Otherwise, men are jumping all over declaring presidency. If you joke, Millie will declare presidency. But for now, I'm not declaring, and I wish you all excellent 16 days of activism on gender-based violence. Please protect, respect, and uphold women's rights. They are your mothers, they are your brothers, they are your sisters. I don't want to mention wives because you have peculiar relations with your wife. They are your side chicks, they are your girlfriends. Be nice to them. Thank you.
Member for Marsabit.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support this motion, and also congratulate Honorable Jaldesa and Mr. Michael Nzomo Mbituku, and especially Honorable Jaldesa, who will be the chairperson. Honorable Speaker, this is a very sensitive time in Kenya, and especially the season we are in, where gender-based violence has become the order of the day, and many young people, many young women are being harassed and also killed to some extent. Honorable Speaker, I have a lot of faith in Honorable Rehema Jaldesa, who is a well-known leader, a woman, a mother, who is so passionate on anything to do with female leaders and also women in the country. And I know very well that with the zeal she has, she will transform this particular commission. Mine is just to say that for any funding that they need to get, for them to be relevant, for them to be effective, for them to bring down the injustices that we see that women go through, for her to be effective enough, we must allocate enough funds so that they can be able to do what they are supposed to do. Honorable Speaker, it would be unfair for me to sit or to conclude without mentioning this issue of people working or talking against women leaders. Everywhere you go, there are even men leaders who criticize women just because they are women, and they keep on saying she's a woman. We are proud women in Kenya, and we are proud leaders. We thank God for people like our majority leader, who always stand and support women. And even for those coward men, who the only thing they can talk about is our gender. I tell them, let us face the elections, let us face the campaign time, but do not use that against us, because we are created as women, and we are very proud women leaders. Thank you, and I support.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I also rise to first to congratulate our former colleague, Rehema Jaldesa. And Madam Speaker, Rehema Jaldesa happens to be my neighbor because I neighbor Isiolo County. And I met Jaldesa way back before we came to this house. And Jaldesa has been a true reflection of a human rights defender and a defender of the gender. And Madam Speaker, I have no doubt in my mind that Jaldesa is going to bring new energy, having experience working with other partners, non-governmental organizations, that she can even fundraise to make this commission work. But again, Madam Speaker, as a government, we cannot always be looking for funds from donors. It is incumbent on us to support this commission so that we debate from what the majority leader said, that this commission is useless. I'm sure this commission is not a useless commission. They have made some strides, albeit how small they are, but you are sure Jaldesa and other colleagues are going to bring changes in this commission. Having said that, Madam Speaker, I also want to speak about the gender-based violence. We have witnessed the femicides. Last week, Madam Speaker, a young girl was slashed like cabbage in Nanyuki by a boyfriend. And Madam Speaker, it is a high time we speak to ourselves, we speak to our children, and even the religious organization should come out clean and speak about this thing. It must end. Our girls must be protected. Madam Speaker, we are all leaders. And I'm proud because you seated there and overseeing the debate in this house. Madam Speaker, you were once nominated. I was nominated. I want to remind everybody who cares to listen. The former president was a nominated member. So this idea of insulting women and about the mouthing women when they are nominated must stop. And I want to urge our president to continue nominating women. And one day, these nominated women, including 1 million Odhiambo, will descend to presidency, God willing. Thank you. Yes. One day.
Soon. Member for Buri.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I stand to support these nominees. Let me say that Jaldesa was my colleague and a neighbor. My constituency board as Isiolo is somebody that I know very well. We share the committee of transport together. And occasionally, even on social functions for our two counties, Jaldesa has always been there. I trust she has all the qualities of leadership. Madam Speaker, when we speak about gender, there is a misconception that the gender is only dealing with women. Madam Speaker, I have been to the Ministry of Gender. I had a discussion with the PS of gender, and she agreed with me that the boy child has been neglected. Mr. Speaker, when we are talking about equality, we are also talking about the light of a boy child and lights of men. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge that Madam Jaldesa and her team focuses particularly on the uplifting the standard of a boy child in this country, Madam Speaker. I believe in equal opportunities for everybody, Madam Speaker. I know for sure there are so many opportunities that come when we all bring equality. Madam Speaker, the issue of equality has been misused, and I believe this is the time now Jaldesa start and putting up focus on the same. Madam Speaker, there is a lot of violence against women. I totally agree. And I'm against that, Madam Speaker. I also say there is a lot of unspoken violence against boy child. Madam Speaker, every day you read a newspaper, every day there was a discussion on some people molesting young boys. Mr. Speaker, that's a matter that needs to be given a lot of attention. Madam Speaker, there is increasing female gender mutilation, which has come back again, Madam Speaker. I want to urge you this House and this Commission, that is one business they have to start dealing with. In my constituency, Madam Speaker, Bori, we are having discussions and serious discussions with churches, with elders, with men of good faith. I am a father of two beautiful girls and my wife, of course. and I would like to have my girls safe, my neighbors' girls safe, my community girls safe. So, Geodesa, the work is cut for you. We want to see you moving up, championing the right of every citizen in terms of equality and more so in terms of the poor child. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member Honorable Obo Rueda.
Asante Speaker. Mimi pia nataka niafiki na wenzangu kwa hii hoja. Niwaunge mkono hawa waliochaguliwa. Kusema la kweli Geldesa atakuwa mstari wa mbele kwa sababu tuamjua alivyokuwa women rep, alikuwa akifanya bidii sana kwa mambo ya wanawake. Kwa hivyo anajua. Na sasa nataka kuomba hao waliochaguliwa wasikae tu kwa maboardroom, watembee. Watuonyeshe katika hii commission watahakikisha wanawake wamechaguliwa zaidi. Kama ni governors wachaguliwe wanawake zaidi, kwa kuingia kwao hapa wafanye bidii wanawake wachaguliwe zaidi, wafanye bidii wachaguliwe MP zaidi, wafanye bidii wachaguliwe MCAs zaidi. Na vile nasikia wenzangu wanaume hapa, wabunge wanaume, mmoja anasema kwamba wanaume pia wapewe kipaumbele, hata hususan boy child. Sikatai, lakini kwa sasa ilivyo hii gender, yule ambaye yuko mnyonge kidogo ni mwanamke. Yale maneno tunasikia, na kama hapa nimeona majority leader alitetea. Kwangu mimi ningeona ni usawa ikiwa mtu amesema imesemekana ni uongo, sivyo vile alivyosema matusi, basi angejitokeza akasema haya si ya ukweli, ni propaganda. Lakini ikiwa inaendelea na propaganda hiyo inatuchapa, mnafanya hata sisi hatutaki kuzungumza, lakini mtafanya tuzungumze. Kila mtu ana maumbile yake. Ikiwa mwanamke anaweza itumia, hata mwanamume anaweza itumia. Na naona wanaume saa nyingine nikisema mtasema nasema vibaya, lakini kwa nini ikiwa mwanamke haambiwi maneno haya paka asimame akiwa daktari?
What is out of order?
I think we need to be very careful with the terminologies as we refer one another in this house. I am not a man, I'm a member of parliament, and I'm speaking as a member of parliament. I'm not just another man. Please, can we have some bit of courtesy and respect?
Member for Buri, what is out of order? Are you not a man?
No, she has said, I have heard, she has said, yeah. I have heard a man. She has said, I have heard a man in this house.
Honorable Rueda, the standing orders are clear. You will address the honorable members as honorable members. That does not take his gender away though.
Jina la mtu hapa. Kama mtu ameona kofia inamtosha kaivaa story yake. Sijataja jina la mtu. Sasa nasema ikiwa ni daktari, ukiwa ni pilot, ukiwa ni any other professional, hautusiwi hivi unatusiwa. Lakini ukija tu kuwa kiongozi, ikiwa ni mwanamke lazima atusiwe. Na sisi tunasikia uchungu, sisi pia ni wazazi, sisi ni wake za watu. Ikiwa mtu kila kisimama ni kututusi tu, si haki. Nafikiri hapa tabidi tutafute tushirikiane, tutengeze sheria, mtu akifanya hivyo aekwe ndani. Asante.
Honorable Kaluma.
I thank you, Speaker. Speaker, let me join members in signifying my approval for the Honorable Rehema Dida Jaldesa to be the chairperson of the National Gender and Equality Commission, and Mr. Michael Nzomo Minthuka to be an additional member to that important commission. Minthuka. Honorable Speaker, let me also join the members who have spoken that for quite some time we are turning these commissions into institutions where people just go into one salary. The previous National Gender and Equality Commission was so lackluster at a time it needed to be the loudest institution or office on matters of gender. And this commission and the previous one's, Honorable Speaker, has been operating as if gender means woman and it ends there. Let me tell you, Honorable Speaker, we are bringing up our daughters, but we risk a situation where they will lack somebody they can go into at equal terms and on equal measure in marriage. And so I want to request these new members as they join that they think of gender to mean both male and female, both boys and girls so that we don't forget any. In fact, you've seen very many poems in which boys are asking, what did we do? And it's a very serious thing. So I'm not saying we reduce our focus on the girl child, but let us also think of the boy child because we need both of them. Honorable Speaker, the Commission has been faced with a situation of femicide. I never heard the National Gender and Equality Commission speak loudly on the matter and even contact the National Police Service Commission, which is the oversight commission for the police, to firmly intervene in the matter. Totally lackluster. Honorable Speaker, this commission has been there at a time the world is struggling to define even what a woman is. And you saw the interview of Ketanji Brown, the first black woman member of the Supreme Court, being asked, what is a woman? And she says, I don't know. It is biology. This commission has been there, Honorable Speaker, when the Supreme Court here decided that your gender is what you decide each time, your sexual orientation and how you assign it. And Honorable Speaker, when we were fighting in the Supreme Court, we expected the National Gender and Equality Commission to be at the forefront because these people who call themselves transgender men, Mara have transitioned, transgender female, yet you are a man, are taking the spaces and opportunities we have fought over for eternity over women, and they sat back doing nothing. So I wanted to say that let our former colleague Rehema Jaldesa, take charge of this body and ensure that this commission is performing its constitutional mandate in terms of mainstreaming gender.
Your time is up. We are getting almost to close this motion. Nominated member Irene Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also stand to give my support to the two nominees to the NGEC Commission. And Honorable Speaker, even as I do that, I'd just like to point out a few things. Number one is that even when we say that gender does not speak to only women, that it also speaks to men, but we also agree that the women are the ones who suffer the most. The reason I'm saying this is even as we observe the 16 days against gender-based violence, which again, we have an additional gender-based violence added onto it, the technology-based gender-based violence, where we are having a lot of women facing cyberbullying because of their gender besides femicide. I just want to say that this is a commission that is extremely grossly underfunded. And one of the things, Honorable Speaker, that we probably need to do in this House is that most of the budgeting that we do for all the votes we budget for, we probably need to anchor gender under it so that we make sure some of these commissions are able to actually do their work. Honorable Speaker, a lot of guys speak about nominated members. As a nominated member, we get really beaten up out there by people who assume that we got our jobs because of what my senior speaks of the between our legs. And Honorable Speaker, some of us have done pretty well in our spaces because we have people like yourself, the Honorable Millie, the Honorable Sarah, the Honorable Naomi, who have gone before us and done an extremely good job, because these opportunities that we get are essentially to allow us to get a platform for us to be able to grow our political career. So it becomes very disgusting when some people assume that we get these roles because of what else they assume that we get them from. Honorable Speaker, I also just want to mention and condemn what is happening in Kiambu County. We cannot have 24 members of county assembly not being allowed to speak or vote in their county assembly. That, Honorable Speaker, has to be condemned, especially from this level. So, Honorable Speaker, even as we support this particular commission, I just want to urge members in your different spaces, in your constituencies, your counties, as we observe the 16 days of against gender-based violence, which began on the 25th of November and ends on the 10th of December, please do activities and sensitize both your male and women to be able to ensure that we respect both genders and we do take care of our women and girls. So, Honorable Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Very well. Member for Lafe, Honorable Mohammed Abdurrahman.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I rise to support this motion, and I want to take this opportunity to thank His Excellency, the President, for nominating Honorable Rehema Dida Jaldesa as the chairperson, and Mr. Michael Nzomo Mbithuka as a member. Madam Speaker, I want to agree our members who have contributed before me. We all know who Rehema is and the passion she has for gender. Madam Speaker, it is in record that Honorable Jaldesa, when she was a member of parliament representing Isiolo County, she raised the issues of gender in this house, and we know she has further raised more awareness and advocated for gender equality. So, Madam Speaker, I have no doubt in my mind that Rehema will change this commission, and we will support her and together with our members. And I want to agree with our majority leader that it is the time they should up to their game. And if Rehema and our members will not perform, I don't know who will change this commission. And with those few remarks, I say thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity, and I support.
Put the question. Professor Guyo Jaldesa.
At least. Professor. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to support my namesake, my alumni, and my friend for the position of the commission chair. Yes. She is alumni of the famous De Garbatula School. Madam Speaker, I just want to say that I 100% support her because I know her, and she's a very competent person, and she's up to the task, and she will succeed, so long as the parliament supports them. Madam Speaker, people talk of gender, 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 when they do not know the difference between gender and sex. Gender commission is not women commission. If we want a women commission, we should think of setting up a women commission. But gender, National Gender and Equality Commission, was actually derived from 1995 Beijing Conference. During 1995 Beijing Conference is when the world decided that we need to have an equal opportunities for both men and women. And fortunately, next year, the world will mark the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Platform for Action. And one of the actions is to ensure equality for both men and women in this place. Kenya has done a lot. Kenya has actually made a lot of progress, not the two-third gender in parliament, but go to many universities today. The majority of the students in public universities are women. And the ones who are doing courses like medicine, courses like engineering, law, are dominated by women. And that's because of the affirmative action the former president, Daniel Arap Moi, put in place to ensure that women are given affirmative action. And with those things, the Gender Commission, given the right stewardship, will actually deliver, and I support that we have done the right thing. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Njoro. Honorable Kathambi.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me this time for me to do contribution in relation with the consideration of nominees for the appointment of the National Gender and Equality Commission. Madam Speaker, the first person I want to congratulate is Madam Rehema Dida Jaldesa. This is a lady of integrity. She has worked in different sections in this country. We have worked with her in previous different areas. She is a performer. She is a go-getter lady. Therefore, with the colleague Michael Nzomo, I was to appreciate them. And Madam Speaker, I wish to wish them the best, and as a chairperson, being a lady, I know she is going to do a lot in relation with also what is affecting women in this country. Madam Speaker, it is on that notion that I would also like to appreciate His Excellency the President recently when he stood up in support of in relation with the issues affecting women in this country. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I just stood to congratulate this team. I have a lot of faith. Chairperson Jaldesa with the team, they will perform and they'll bring changes in this country. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for that time you have given me to congratulate these hardworking people. Thank you.
Honorable Nyenze.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this time to make my contribution to the nominees to these commissions. I want to talk about the National Gender and Equality Commission and congratulate the two nominees, the chair, Jandesa, and also the member, Mike Nzomo Bidoka. I actually happened to have met them during the interview, and they are very qualified. They are very qualified members, nominees, and I would wish them and congratulate them and wish them all the best. As it has been said, the National Gender and Equality Commission in Kenya, which was established to promote gender equality, faces some challenges. And one of the challenges is limited resources. Actually, NGEC often operates within inadequate financial support and also human resources. They usually have very few staff, and also they are really given very few funds. So because of the limited resources, that's why they don't deliver that well. So it's my hope that this time round, they will be given enough resources so that they can actually deliver. There are so many issues which they are supposed to deliver to. There is the 2/3 gender rule, which has never been achieved. There is also the boy child, which is actually a problem. And according to me, the femicide, according to me, could even be contributed by the fact that we are not really empowering the boy child, and they feel left behind. And because of that feeling that the girl child has really been empowered, there is that feeling of inadequacy when they meet the girl child. And in so doing, we have increased femicide. But I would say that if we gave GEC enough resources, then they would actually be able to deliver. I would single out Michael Nzomo Bidoka, who is an albino and is very qualified. He's worked in different organizations and he's delivered very well. He's also very good at resource mobilization, which is required in such a commission. And I'm sure he's going to deliver. So, Madam Speaker, I support the two as I congratulate them. Thank you.
Honorable Member for Kisii, Honorable Doris.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also rise to support the appointment, more especially on the gender part. Reason, Madam Speaker, I don't know why when we talk of gender.
Did you say gender part?
The Gender Commission.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Gender Commission. Gender Commission.
Yeah, it's because you've been talking of the body parts and everything. Madam Speaker, it's high time. It's high time, Madam Speaker, we learned of our body parts, all of them, so that when they speak of one, we don't say that someone is losing integrity. We have the eye, we have the head, we have the mouth, we have the chest. There is nothing that is, when we talk of any part, there is nothing that is out of, someone will tell you that you don't have integrity. If you go to the hospital, Kenya, we have a problem of explaining our problems because you want to remain subservient to the traditions. You are diarrheaing, you want to say, I feel the stomach is running. You don't want to speak what is hurting you. Where is your problem? The male, you go to the hospital. You want to hide, I feel a scratch. You don't want to say where you are scratching because of culture. Come on, every body part is essential. It is not bad to mention its name. Now, when women we say anything about our body parts, you definitely think we are disabled. We are not. So let us treat each and every department. We should not even be glorified that women have been given this. Provided you are a leader, you deserve a position. Which order are you talking about, Honorable Kaluma?
Honorable Doris, you are out of order totally. It is the speaker to determine what the point of. Honorable Kaluma, what is out of order?
Honorable Speaker, you know, we just dealt with the motion in which we passed members of the Commission on Administrative Justice. And one of the people we have passed is Madam Dorothy Jamator Chemangej. And she's calling me, asking why women leaders are talking too much about body parts. And it is making her feel outside there that because we never said something about her competence, and this is a lady who was my mentee, a lady I worked with, she's asking, could it be that we are letting people think we never debated them because of their body parts? Would I request, Honorable Speaker, that as I confirm on record, Dorothy Jemator Chemangej, Charles Orindadulo was my partner. They were passed not because of their body parts, but their competence. And we stopped that reference to body parts, Honorable Speaker. It is not parliamentary.
You don't take us to the previous motion, but you have made your point. Honorable Doris.
I had not finished my 3 minutes.
You still have some time.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Speaker. You know, sometimes there is confusion. You have something that you want to pass and someone interrupts with something that does not connect with what you are discussing. Gender is key. And nothing is out of order, Madam Speaker, when we speak about things that are pragmatic. So I want to say the nomination is timely when even we don't have a gender CS, Madam Speaker. So I support the appointment and I wish them the best as they do their work. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Member for Endebess.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for allowing me to contribute to this approval motion. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Rehema Jaldesa served with us in the 12th Parliament, and she was a very committed member, a member who is who knew what she was here to do. And Honorable Speaker, I hope that she will be able to steer this organization, which has not been doing very well in the past since it was formed. I think she will be able to give it a new direction, a new dimension, a dimension that can have impact in the society, because it has not had any serious impact, and that's why many Kenyans have been pushing that this should be dissolved together with the NCIC and be put under the Human Rights Commission. But I think on matters of gender, and Honorable Speaker, we've seen you among other leaders, the Honorable Milia Diambo, in this week really condemn the issue about femicide and women being brutally either injured or killed in this country. And I think it is a wave that should not be allowed. Our security agents must be alert, and not just the security agents. We also have community policing. What is it that is not happening? The community policing should be strengthened. Our Kenyans should be on watch out. And because, you know, Honorable Speaker, we are not all created equally. Women are created in such a way that they are the weaker sex compared with men, physically. And that is why you'll find that most of the femicide or killing or injury to the women is being done by men. But we want to really condemn this kind of behavior that should not happen in this country. We should be able to respect our women, should be able to respect our girls, and give them the dignity with which they serve. But at the same time, we must also give the boy child an opportunity so that he's not left behind. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Dr. Mutunga, he has left. Honorable Pasaris.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, the National Gender Equality Commission was founded in 2011, 13 years ago, just after the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution. The idea was to drive the not more than two-thirds gender agenda, and to date we have failed to achieve that. It was also to promote equality and freedoms from all forms of discrimination, especially for special interest groups, women, youth, and persons with disability, children, elderly, minorities, and marginalized. I had the pleasure of serving with Honorable Rehema Jaldeza in the 12th Parliament. I also had the pleasure of traveling with her to Isiolo. I have known her beyond parliamentary, the term we served together as parliamentarians. Honorable Jaldeza, in her county, was known as the Lioness. She was the epitome of strength. She was also she had the ability, having lost her husband through a plane crash and becoming a widow at a very young age and left with 5 children, she had the ability to understand what it takes to be a leader, what it takes to be a woman in a society where women are not actually empowered. She was able to actually get the command also from the male gender in terms of her leadership skills, her ability to make decisions for her people, her ability to stand being a woman and also being a woman of strength. So I believe that the Commission is going to have a very good chair. The Commission is going to be able to do the work it does. But we also have to note that as long as we don't fund the Commission, we will not be able to get it to do its work. As we mark the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, we need the Commission to actually come out and help us achieve what we need to achieve in terms of ending gender-based violence across the board from all genders. The Commission is not just about women, it's about all genders. It's about ending discrimination. And this week we're going to mark 20 years of the NCPWD in Kenya. We also have to recognize that the persons living with disability also are in that bracket of the Commission that needs to be empowered. I wish Jaldeza and all the commissioners well in their term, and we hope that we will see more and we will be able to attain the not more than two-thirds of one gender across the board. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Ikiara.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also wish to support the nomination of Honorable Rehema Dida Jaldeza as the chair of Gender and Equality Commission, and at the same time support a member, Michael Zomo Biduka. And I wish to thank the committee that vetted these 2 nominees and commend His Excellency the President for picking the best brains to handle this particular commission. Honorable Speaker, I'll briefly say, as we talk about femicide, I want to challenge ourselves, Honorable Speaker, because this has happened. It's a crisis that has arisen, and we really don't know. And unless, Madam Speaker, we unearth the real reason why young men are so bitter with women, we may never strike a balance. We may never get an answer. So, Honorable Speaker, as we talk about gender, let us critically scrutinize and know what has gone wrong with our society. Because as women, we are the same mothers to boys and girls. We are the same people who bring these children up. But at some point, Honorable Speaker, we are realizing this is out of rage. let us unearth and strike a balance and know why our boys are so bitter to the extent that they can turn to beasts. Honorable Speaker, I wish to join my sister, Honorable Miriam Odhiambo, as she condemned the wordings of whoever, as much as the majority leader exonerated the MCA who wrote those ones. That is the deep thinking of a majority of men. And even the women, Honorable Speaker, I want to say, when I came to this parliament, it's not men who are talking evil of nominated women. It is the women. So let us not condemn men. Let us scrutinize ourselves. Let us go beyond our boundaries and check what happened in America. When Honorable Harris Kamara was campaigning, the gender issue never arose anywhere. They were campaigning with Trump at par. So, Honorable Speaker, let us respect our boundaries, let us respect ourselves, let us be truthful to ourselves so that we can move this society to better life for ourselves, both men and women. So, Honorable Speaker, I wish Rehema Jedesa and her team happy tidings as they run this ministry, and as Parliament, let us be very factual and fund them as much as possible so that this commission does not remain redundant.
Honorable Pareyo. Speak to the microphone, Honorable Agnes.
Sorry. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to support the nomination of Rehema as a chair to the Gender Commission. I want to say that these commissions perform a lot of good work, but the problem that is there is funding. I was the chair and the FGM board, and you know these commissions are not supposed to be in their offices. They are supposed to go to the field. But when you look at the money that they are given, that money is not enough to facilitate them to meet the people that they are supposed to talk to. And for this reason, I think it is time we come and look at commissions that are supposed to promote equal opportunities for women because they are not well funded. Starting from the Ministry of Gender, I happen to have met the former CS Gender, and what she talked about was horrible because the funding that she was getting was not enough. And the same thing will happen to the Gender Commission. It's not about the person who has been nominated, because I know she's a performer and she will perform. But if she will not have enough money or resources to make her go out, then we don't expect any resources. When it comes to gender, gender is not about women alone. Gender is about boys and girls. So we are supposed to look at both genders, because I do remember last week I went for a meeting and one of a young man raised an issue in that meeting. She said, "Mama, you have done a lot to girls. Why do you leave us alone?" So I felt it, because we are supposed to address issues that are affecting both boys and girls. And for that reason, I support the commission and look forward to seeing a day that we'll be able to look for resources for these commissions that are supposed to promote women and men issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kalasinga.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise on the onset to oppose this appointment. I oppose this appointment, Madam Speaker, with serious facts also that should be listened to. When we talk of gender, Madam Speaker, I'm not opposing because they are women. I'm opposing because, Madam Speaker, in all parts of this country we have women. We have women, Madam Speaker, in Kitale, we have women in Bungoma, and we have women in Busia, Madam Speaker. Every time we pass names on the floor of this House, Madam Speaker, and I hope this House should listen to us. Every time we pass names on this House, cumulatively, Madam Speaker. Some names belong to some sections of this country alone. Madam Speaker, it is very embarrassing that when we discuss names, you find that some names are coming from 3 major tribes. And this thing we must be able to name, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it hurts us from the names of, even in Bungoma, the name of one Madam Koni Wakwabubi, who appeared even on the nomination list of UDA as a senator. Where the name was dropped, we never knew. Up to now, she's languishing at home. If we have to give names and go to gender, let us balance all over the country, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we passed the names here. We saw that EACC is going one direction. We have talked of this one direction. Everything, Madam Speaker. Look at this, even the Mount Kenya. When we see names going one direction all the time, Madam Speaker, we have also our 30% agreement of western part. We have seen no women from the western region. Madam Speaker, when I talk, I did not come here to represent Kenya. I came here in Parliament to represent our constituents and our region. That's why, Madam Speaker, I come here to oppose this list. And if I have to oppose, I oppose with facts. From tomorrow onward, as we appoint names here, let us see Kenya as a country. Let us draw the map of this country and balance every part and even put thoughts in every part. Madam Speaker, I'm one disappointed man, MP from Bungoma, to have seen no woman. And Madam Speaker, we have very bright women who have gone to school properly also from our sides. I want this one to be a lesson to this house. Lesson to this house. As much as we engage.
There is a point of order, Honorable
Accepted, but mark my
It
time.
It is not you to accept, Honorable Kalasinga. Point of order from Honorable Kaluma.
Honorable Speaker, under the Constitution, regional and ethnic balance of commissions is looked at when you look at all commissions cumulatively. Honorable Speaker, is Honorable Majimbo Kalasinga in order to determine regional balance, particularly representation of people of his ethnic community, based on a single commission in which only 2 members are being appointed. Yet, Honorable Speaker, if you look at even the appointments we passed before, who is Jacqueline Mwinesi? Who is Jacqueline Mwinesi? Honorable Speaker, unless this is justified and substantiated, it should be withdrawn and it should be looked at cumulatively.
It is not you to reply, Honorable Kalasinga. You had very few seconds remaining, and you have made very serious accusations. Honorable Kalasinga, take your seat. Take your seat. I will give you your time. Yeah, I will give you your time. Just hold it. There is already a point of order that has already been raised by Honorable Kaluma. What I will ask Honorable Kalasinga to do, statement of fact, because you said you are going to table facts. Then it will be, as has been said by Honorable Kaluma, not just on 2 names, because 2 names cannot represent 47 counties. It will have to be factual, and you will owe that responsibility to the House. Nobody is out of order, Honorable Rahim. Nobody. The Speaker is actually talking. So you cannot possibly be challenging myself. So I'll give Honorable Kalasinga. You have a few seconds remaining. Set the record straight. It is okay. It is your right to oppose, but statement of fact.
Madam Speaker, as a statement of fact, and a fact, I am a member of Parliament for Kapchai, Madam Speaker. In this constitution of Kapchai, there is no single appointment of a woman that has taken place. If I am wrong, name one. We want Honorable Kaluma to name one woman from Kapchai. That's why I'm here, Madam Speaker. I don't come here, Madam, and I don't apologize to this, Madam Speaker. I am not apologizing.
Honorable Rahim, what is out of order?
Madam Speaker, Honorable Kalasinga should withdraw Mount Kenya in his statement because there is no Mount Kenya here. This Honorable Jaldesa is from Isiolo. She's not from Mount Kenya. So he should withdraw that all the appointments are going to Mount Kenya. He has to withdraw, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Kalasinga, you only have a few seconds. Statement of fact.
Madam Speaker, statement of fact I want Honorable Kaluma to name one woman from Kabuchai who has been appointed. I'm here on a matter of fact, Madam Speaker. I apologize for using the word Mount Kenya. But I am not apologizing for a matter of fact. No single appointment has taken from Kabuchai, where I represent Madam Speaker. I am here on a matter of fact. Name for me one. Name right now.
What is out of order, Honorable Kaluma?
You see, Honorable Speaker, I stood in my place here, and I raised the issue of a misleading statement. That number one, while saying nobody from his ethnic community is in these commissions being appointed, that should be looked at cumulatively. But even in terms of National Gender and Equality Commission, Honorable Speaker, this is not the full list of the commissioners of National Gender and Equality Commission. These are just 2 being appointed. This commission has 9. The former chair was from Bungoma, and there are members from the Luya ethnic group in the current commission. So if he didn't know that, let him apologize. But I was also emphasizing, Honorable Speaker, so that we don't mislead the public that some regions are being excluded. Just this morning, we have passed Mwenesi. So he cannot run from that, Honorable Speaker. He cannot run from that, Honorable Speaker, by, going back and claiming he was talking of his constituency. If it is constituency, even my own constituency, we've never had anybody called a commissioner, leave alone in National Gender and Equality Commission. So he has to withdraw or speak in alignment with the Constitution. Yes.
Honorable member for Kabuchai, if you are here earlier, the previous speakers had already spoken to this already. If you were listening to motion number 13, we had 8 appointees. They cannot all come from every constituency. 290 constituencies. It is not possible. So I know what you're trying to do, but kindly do not mislead the House in terms of saying these 2 should come from Kabuchai. It is not possible. But I would want us to make progress. I'll give you 30 seconds, Honorable Member, Honorable Kalasinga, because your time is up.
Honorable Speaker.
To guide the House properly.
Honorable
not
Speaker.
mislead the House.
I want to agree with you, Honorable Speaker, but now cumulatively, Madam Speaker, all the commissions and appointments on this floor that has happened, no one has come from Kabuchai. I stand my fact, Madam Speaker, and I'm not withdrawing.
Honorable Kalasinga, we have only done 3 appointments today. So it cannot be all cumulative. That would be a misleading statement. Unless you come with the data that all commissions and all that have been passed by this House, no one is from Kabuchai, then you will withdraw that statement. If not, you will bring the statement tomorrow, Honorable Member for Kabuchai. There is nothing out of order. Member for Kabuchai.
Madam Speaker, this is a honorable House, and this honorable House must tell me what to bring here. If what I'm saying is wrong, can this House prove to me, Madam Speaker, that we have one opponent from my constituency? I'm not going to apologize, Madam Speaker. I will face the consequences, but the consequences I will carry them on my back because of my people who elected me, Madam Speaker. We have no appointment. Even we are now, this issue of broad-based government, Madam Speaker, is what is hurting us. We want to come to the truth. This broad-based government, Madam Speaker, is eating our 30%.
Honorable
We must know this one,
what is
Madam
out of
Speaker.
order?
Madam Speaker, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Madam Speaker, we are members of parliament of this country, and this is a national parliament. Madam Speaker, people are not appointed because they are coming from specific constituencies or villages. People are appointed because they are Kenyans, and they qualify, and regionally. Mr. Speaker, sorry, Madam Speaker, the member for Kabuchai knows very well the Speaker of National Assembly of Kenya comes from Kabuchai. That position alone holds so many positions, and is the 3rd in the ranking in this country. Is he in order to insist that any appointment must come from his constituency. Yet we are not complaining. Even today when they mention of Mwenesu, we know it's from our region. We accept.
Honorable Member for Kabuchai, I actually gave you instructions to withdraw a specific issue from your contribution. I will remind you, standing under 107A, a member commits an act of gross disorderly conduct if the member, number B, declines to explain or retract use of unparliamentary words or declines to offer apologies despite having been ordered to do so by the Speaker.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
I will expect you to do exactly as I had said. On the specific matter, not everything, on the specific matter.
Madam Speaker, unless you state the specific matters, but on the matter of what I've said, I remain firm. I remain firm, Madam Speaker, that what I said, I have knowledge about it, and if there is anything that you want me to prove I've said wrong, prove to me that this is one person was from my constituency in terms of the appointments we have made on the floor of this House. Madam Speaker, I don't want to apologize, Madam Speaker, because...
What is out of order, Honorable Millie?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we are in the 16 days of activism on gender-based violence. And gender-based violence comes in many forms. You are sitting on that chair as a speaker, and you are a woman speaker. You must act with authority. My good friend, I know what he's doing, but your authority as a speaker cannot be undermined when we are here as women leaders. We will not allow. We will not allow. No.
Honorable members, I know there are people, I know Honorable Member for Kabuchai is really hoping I throw him out so that he can look like a hero in Kabuchai. I will not do that. I will not do that. I will not do that, but I will direct that you'll bring that substantiation you have said here to this House tomorrow in the afternoon. If you do not, then consequences will follow. And there is nothing else you have to add. That is guided and is so directed. Honorable members, allow me to give member for Matuga, Honorable Kasim Tandaza. Honorable Kasim has not talked on this issue.
Asante, Mheshimiwa Speaker. Ni vizuri wenzangu waweze kusoma kanuni za bunge ili wajue ni wakati gani mtu anaweza kupatiwa nafasi ya kuzungumza na ni wakati gani asipatiwe. Sijazungumzwa katika mjadala huu, kwa hivyo ni haki yangu pia na mimi kutoa maoni. Kwanza nikubaliane na ripoti ambayo imeletwa kwa uteuzi wa mwenyekiti wa Rehema Dida Jaldesa na mwanachama Michael Nzomo Mbithuka, na unga mkono hoja hiyo waweze kuteuliwa kama inavyostahili. Kuna jambo ambalo ningetaka kutilia mkazo katika utendaji kazi wa hizi kamisheni ambazo zimeteuliwa, hasa tukiangalia kamisheni mbili mtawalia na wizara inayohusika ya jinsia. Kamisheni hii ya jinsia na usawa na ile kamishena ya uwiano. Tatizo lililoko kama kinara ya walio wengi bungeni, Mheshimiwa Kimani Ichung'wah alivyotanguliza, ni kwamba majukumu yao yanatatizana katika kamisheni hizi mbili. Katika ripoti iliyotangulia hapo mwanzo ya NADCO, wananchi waliweza kutoa mapendekezo kwamba kamisheni hizi ziweze kuvunjiliwa mbali. Lakini taratibu za kuvunjilia mbali kamisheni hizi ni taratibu ndefu. Ningetoa maoni kwamba katika hili bunge tuweze kukaa na kuwapa majukumu hususan. Kila kamisheni iwe ina majukumu maalumu ambayo hayaingiliani na zile kamisheni zingine. Hili pia litaweza kutatua kwa upande mmoja lile tatizo ambalo limezungumziwa kwa kirefu kwamba kamisheni hizi hazipatiwi fedha zinazotosha. Hazitoshi fedha hizi kwa sababu wamepatiwa majukumu ambayo kila mtu anasema ni yake, na linapoenda vibaya mwingine anasema sio langu. Kwa hivyo bunge hili kwa haraka liweze kuona kwamba majukumu yao yatakuwa machache na hayaingiliani na kamisheni zingine, na hapo tatizo la fedha pia litaweza kupungua. Ninaunga mkono uteuzi huu na asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia fursa hii.
Ona Bungusia.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity also to add my voice on this matter. Madam Speaker, I will begin by congratulating the two. Actually, I know them. And I have worked with Jaldesa in the 12th Parliament. And I have got no doubt that they are going to inject the energy needed by this commission, Madam Speaker, to deliver the mandate constitutionally given to them, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I will just begin by saying that this commission is coming at a time when we are discussing issues of femicide and needs to be taken by everybody seriously, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this gender commission is supposed to reduce what we call gender disparities. And this gender doesn't mean that you forget the issues of men, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the other issue that needs to be fully canvassed by this commission is inclusion of people with disability, children, youth, and also the elderly people, Madam Speaker. We need to remind them on focusing on that issue. The other issue is marginalized groups in terms of national development must be considered by this commission, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I am lucky to be serving in in the Committee of Constitutional Implementation Oversight. And one of the chair appeared in our committee. And let us not bash this commission. It has not really been popularized to Kenyans. Most of the Kenyans are not aware whether this commission exists. We need to fund them. We need to fund them. We need to fund them, and I repeat, Madam Speaker. And if at all they are going to get that publicity needed by them.
What is out of order, Honorable Rahim?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, in as much as I support Honorable Jaldesa for the chairperson, is the Honorable CNN in order to say people do not know the Gender Commission in Kenya? Is he in order to say that? But I support Honorable Jaldesa as the chairperson for this commission.
I think Honorable Rahim, what Honorable Bungusia said is that it's not very popularized to Kenyans, which is a fair statement. Continue, Honorable Bungusia.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I think you have to add me more minutes.
No, your time is still just a few seconds remaining.
Yes, I just said majority of our people don't know whether the role this commission actually play in our important country. And that is why they need to come out, even in the media, so that they can...
Honorable Atandi.
Honorable Speaker, going by the mood of the House, and that most members are in support of this motion, could I request the mover of the motion to reply? Thank you.
Honorable members, I will therefore put the question that the mover be called to reply. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Mover.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And let me begin by congratulating you for allowing a lot of members of Parliament to contribute on these appointments, and to thank members, beginning with the high-ranking members of the majority leader of this House, the Honorable Millie Odhiambo, and all the members who have contributed. And it has come out, Madam Speaker, that the only problem that this commission has is gross underfunding. And as we appoint these two, Madam Speaker, and as we begin the budget making process, I implore on this House to be conscious about the gender-based violence currently happening in our country and to fund this commission to meet the expectation of the members of the public and the people of Kenya. Madam Speaker, there is no doubt the capabilities of the two nominees have been spoken into by all members of parliament positively. And Madam Speaker, I'm not in doubt that with proper funding, the leadership of the Honorable Rehema Jaldesa and Michael, and the Honorable Michael, Madam Speaker, will bring new energy to this commission. With those very few remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to reply.
Very well. We will defer the putting of the question on this particular motion, and we'll go to the next order.
Order number 16, Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable members, we may take our seats as we go to the Committee of the Whole. Honorable members, I hope the chair of the Agriculture Committee is in the House. Chair, yes, you're there. Members, we shall be dealing with the committal of Clause 8 and Clause 79 of the coffee bill. And I think we are ready to proceed.
Clause 8.
What is it, Honorable Kaluma? And you have the mic.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, I have a concern. I see the chair of the committee in charge of agriculture in the House, but I'm not seeing the mover or the member who recommitted Clause 79. I don't know the problem with the House in terms of attending the Committee of the Whole House. And even in terms of the next item, assisted reproductive, I'm not seeing the chair health. So, Chair.
Well, you have actually communicated your point. Is Honorable Undo in the House? Wilberforce Undo. But I think the chair is in the House.
The mover in terms of Clause 79 was the woman for Nandi. And I'm concerned, Honorable Chair, that, particularly Clause 79 was a very serious clause, which required bigger numbers than what I'm seeing here.
Honorable Kaluma, what are you saying? You are speaking to Kenyans and the House.
I'm saying, Chair, that the House has difficulties under Standing Order 35 to proceed with the business.
Very well, Kaluma, we have heard you. You are alerting us on Standing Order 35. Very well. Order, honorable members, honorable member and chair for agriculture. A member has risen from his place, and whenever a member rises on Standing Order 35, it is as exact as it is. Let me call upon the Sergeant at Arms to ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes. I've already instructed, and therefore the sergeant at arms proceed and ring the quorum bell. Honorable Millie, we shall have to execute the quorum business first, and then we shall give you a chance to speak.
Rudi tu kiasi. Kindly. Haya. Ngoja nifungue order paper.
Very well.
Proceedings this morning being the proceedings of the House that is currently facing a quorum hitch this morning. The member for Homa Bay Town, Honorable Peter Kaluma, just rose on a point of order notifying the chair that the House lacked quorum. And the chair, currently presiding over the business of the National Assembly this morning under the Committee of the Whole, has directed the sergeant at arms to ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes to allow for members of the National Assembly to make their way back into the chamber this morning to necessitate the House to have quorum to commence with business this morning. Before the House proceeded to the Committee of the Whole, the House was considering the nomination of nominees to the appointment, to the National Gender and Equality Commission, calling for proper funding of the National Gender and Equality Commission so that the commission executes its mandate to the expectation of Kenyans. The nominees to the NGEK Commission are Honorable Rehema Dida Jaldesa as the chairperson and Honorable Michael Zomo Mbithuka as the members. The debate on that special motion for the consideration of nominees for the appointment to the National Gender and Equality Commission has already been concluded upon, but the question to be put for the members to approve the two nominees nominated by the President to serve under the Gender Commission will be put later, probably later in the day. And away from that, allow me to take you through the agenda for consideration by the House under the Committee of the Whole that is currently in place at the National Assembly. The House is set to consider the Coffee Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of the year 2023 by the lead of the majority party, who has co-sponsored the bill at the National Assembly. The other bill for consideration under the Committee of the Whole is the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bills number 61 of the year 2022 by Honorable Millie Mabona. Let's now have a look at the coffee bill. This being a bill that is originally from the Senate, but it is being co-sponsored at the National Assembly. The coffee bill is an act of Parliament seeking to provide for the establishment of the Coffee Board of Kenya and the Coffee Research and Training Institute, which will have roles of the national and the county governments. And this board will regulate development and promotion of the coffee industry for the connected purposes. The coffee bill is a bill seeking to streamline the coffee sector, ensure that there is regularization of coffee prices, to ensure that the farmer is not taken advantage of by the middlemen, and to ensure that by and large the farmer gets quality output for the quality investment that they made. The principal object of the Coffee Bill 2023 is to, among others, ensure that persons who contravene the provision of subsection 1 or commits offense in regards to issues in the coffee sector is liable to conviction and to a fine not exceeding 1 million shillings or twice the value of the coffee and the coffee product, whichever is greater, or equally that the person who contravenes the provisions of subsection 1. To hear subsection 1 to refer to goes against the law that will be governing the activities in the coffee sector is also subject to imprisonment of a term not exceeding 2 years or both. The Coffee Bill 2023 also provides that the coffee and all coffee shall be stored in warehouses licensed by the respective county governments. According to the bill, a county executive committee member shall not designate premises as a coffee warehouse unless the premises have been inspected, approved, and equally licensed in accordance with the Act and any other relevant legislation. And the bill states that a licensed warehouse shall conform to the standards prescribed by the Kenya Bureau of Standards. According to the bill, which seeks to ensure or lead to the formation of a coffee board, is that the board and the county governments shall inspect the warehouses and equally monitor warehousing activities on regular basis. The Coffee Bill 2023 also states that a coffee miller who bulks a coffee shall avail information in the prescribed form to an exchange and direct settlement, a system which shall be a provider of proportions of bulked coffees for the purposes of processing payments. The board, which is set to regulate the coffee industry, and the respective county executive committee members shall separately or jointly undertake inspection regulations and ensure that there is compliance with the Act by the coffee millers. A coffee grower, according to the bill, may deliver samples not exceeding 500 grams of parchment or boni for the independent quality analysis by a laboratory before the delivery of the commercial coffee miller. The laboratory to which a sample has been submitted is also expected to report on the quality and compliance in the prescribed form. And the bill further states that a coffee miller shall remit 250 gram samples of each grade of an outturn to the board for quality analysis and matters assessment, and this is in conformity with the coffee standards. Dear viewers, we are awaiting the attainment of quorum at the National Assembly, upon which I will be handing you over back to the proceedings of the National Assembly, where the House is set to consider the proposals in the Coffee Bill, Senate Bills number 10 of the year 2023, and the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bills number 61 of the year 2023 by Honorable Millie Mabona. While the quorum bell is still on at the National Assembly this morning for members to come back into the chamber this morning to raise the number. But away from that, the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill is an act of Parliament seeking to provide for the regulation of the assisted reproductive technology, to prohibit certain practices in connection with assisted reproductive technology, and to establish an assisted reproductive technology directorate to make for the provisions in relation to children born on assisted reproductive technology processes and for the connected purposes.
Clause 8.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Mover was Wilberforce Oundo. Not being present and not being in the House. Chair?
I can move. I was the mover.
So the Oundo one will drop it. And then we'll go to the chair.
Oundo
Chair,
one is
proceed.
dropped. Yeah. Honorable Chair, I move that clause 8 be amended as per the order paper. Honorable Chair, I would like to move further amendment to the amended clause 8 because there is exclusion of 2 words and they are significant. Allow me to read the amended clause 8, which says that for purposes of this section, coffee management means the process of increasing coffee production per tree, including 2 words are missing, choice of appropriate agroecology. Choice of is missing. Determination of plant population, planting, crop husbandry, harvesting, and conveying through pulping stations. Honorable Chair, I beg.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed by the chair. These are recommittal. It must be having interest. Yes. Honorable Gichimu.
Chair, let me confirm that I had proposed an amendment to clause 8, and my concerns have already been taken care of.
Order, Honorable Gichimu. You are too early. Let's deal with the chairs first, and then we shall call you out.
Very well, Chair.
In the event there's no any other interest in this one, yes, Honorable Kaluma.
Chair, thank you, but I wanted to request the chair to explain to the House in better detail what he seeks to achieve by the recommittal of clause 8. I didn't quite get him. This is a very important bill.
I think Honorable Kaluma is in order. Chair, please explain to the House in just 1.5 minutes.
Chair, clause 8 of the bill is on qualifications for appointment to the board, the Coffee Board of Kenya. Clause 8.1 talks of the qualification of the persons appointed under 7.1a, E, F, and G, and these are the farmers. They must be Kenyan citizens. They should hold, in the case of the persons in 7A and so on, I'm talking about 8B2, which refers to section 7, 1E and F, a certificate in secondary education. We adopted that. And then has at least 3 years experience, preferably in management in the coffee sector. Management in the coffee sector was not defined.
Okay.
So we have brought the definition of management in the coffee sector, what we meant by management in the coffee sector.
Very well, honorable members. I now put the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Now, Honorable Gichimu, you may proceed to prosecute your issue.
Thank you, Chair. I'm contented with the recommendation by the Chair. The concerns that I had raised, that those small-scale holders who be part of the board should be exempted from the having 3 years experience in the coffee sector. So I consulted the Chair that they had to define what is that experience in the coffee sector, which has already been addressed. And now I'm happy that even farming is also an experience, and those farmers will not be disadvantaged. Thank you, Chair.
Very well, go on record that you have dropped your amendment. Honorable Gichimu.
Yes.
On record that you dropped it.
I hereby drop the amendments that I had proposed under clause 8.
Very well,
Thank you,
honorable
Chair.
members. I now put the question that clause 8 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 79.
I propose the question that clause 79 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, clause 79 proposes the qualifications of the CEO of the Coffee Research and Training Institute. The contention was the minimum qualification of a PhD. Honorable Chair, I would like to move that in the absence of the mover for the amendment, for the recommitter, I would like to move that we change the qualifications to say PhD will be an added advantage, and then everybody will be comfortable.
Honorable, no, let me propose the question first. I propose the question that clause 79 be amended as proposed by the chair. Honorable Kaluma.
Yes, Chair, this was a very contentious provision of the bill yesterday because the qualification for the CEO was being put to require a PhD. No CEO necessarily is not the person researching or the researcher. The CEO, Honorable Speaker, is in charge of the day-to-day administration of the institute. For research, you may require a PhD, but really CEO, to limit it to a person with PhD was going to exclude so many Kenyans who would otherwise qualify to be a CEO, not necessarily also the researcher. And so I agree with the chair, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Chair, I agree with the mover that we can have PhD as added advantage, but I wanted to request the mover to look at the clause in greater detail because still we are not clear on PhD being an added advantage to what basic minimum qualification. So maybe if he said a master's degree with a PhD as added advantage, it would be acceptable, and I would personally urge we go that direction. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Chepkonga.
Thank you very much, Chair. You know, yesterday, this matter exercised our mind.
Okay.
The Honorable Peter Kaluma thought that people with PhDs are not necessarily good managers. And since it appears that the chair has conceded and agreed that someone with maybe a basic degree of a bachelor or a master's, but if you find one who is good, who has a PhD, it does no harm in recruiting such a person. So I support the chair's proposal,
Okay.
Chairman.
Honorable Muriu.
Thank you, Speaker. I think here we need to divorce ourselves and come to terms to the fact that as an institute of research, number one, you must have the background of research. And Mr. Speaker, on clause B, it says clearly holds a degree in agriculture, crop science, or business administration from a university recognized in Kenya. Over and above that, Mr. Speaker, there must be a qualification that because this is a research institution, you must have the capacity to be able to lead other researchers.
Senior,
and Mr. Speaker,
Senior Counsel Muriu, so where are you placing it? Because we are not now debating.
What I'm trying to say, Mr. Speaker, is that the qualification for a PhD is a prerequisite for this position. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, let's listen to Honorable Kagusha.
Honorable Speaker, I think it would, in bad faith, if anyone would have the thinking that someone who has a PhD is a bad manager. I mean, for you to be able to study all the way to PhD level.
Honorable Kagusha, the argument on the floor, of course, I'll be coming here. It's not that he's a bad manager.
That's okay, Honorable
but
Speaker.
added advantage so that we increase the base for those who can qualify. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I think because we have very many people who have studied up to PhD level in this country, I do not think as a country we have a problem or a deficit of people who qualify for these kind of positions. You can imagine you asking a person who is not a professor to lead a university.
Very well, we have heard you.
So for that case, in that case, Honorable Speaker, I support that. Let us have a PhD holder.
Very well, you have
being
pronounced yourself.
a minimum requirement.
Order, we have heard you and very clearly. Yes, Honorable Member.
Yes, Chair, I just want to support Chair of the Agriculture. Even we have got people who have done masters and are very good in report writing and administrators. Putting PhD as a compulsory issue in this matter, I think it's not necessary, but it can be an added advantage, Mr. Chair.
Given that these are a committal, I'll give a few more. Yes, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity to add my voice to this issue. If you look at the best practice all over the world, you don't necessarily have to have a PhD to lead an institution or research institution. So I support the Chairman of Agriculture that the PhD is an added or should be an added advantage. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable Rikiri.
Mr. Speaker, I support the Chairman of the committee. Mr. Speaker, that's a trip of the tongue. The Chairman, I've corrected myself.
Proceed.
You are too quick to talk about the things that are not necessary.
Proceed.
I support the Chairman of the committee. I was here during the deliberations, and it came out very clear. You know, Mr. Chairman, the problem that we're having is that we think that because you have so many papers, you are a very good manager. This position of the CEO is managerial responsibility and demonstration of through experience and your ability to articulate issues is what is really required as opposed to the academic qualification per se.
You have communicated and put your point finally on this. Let me give Daktari, the member, Kalumba, please. And that's
Chair.
the final one, then we'll put the question. You'll
Chair.
have a chance to decide.
Chair, when we are dealing with a research institution, we are dealing with a research institution. You must give the direction in research. And when you are dealing with the direction in research, you can't have anything less than a PhD. Because you are the boards will give direction, but who makes the minutes? Who makes the proposals? Who makes the board papers that goes to the board to help the board with the direction? This country, Mr. Speaker, my chair, is suffering because the professionals have put back their hands.
Daktari, we have heard you. Karoli Omondi.
Thank you. Honorable Chair, my preference would be that we retain the requirement for PhD because from my experience, we have had situations where institutions of higher learning or even research institutions headed by people who are perceived by their peers not to be eminently qualified to lead them are imposed on them, and we're having Kenya School of Law, we have had many professors. The late Professor Ogendo never went there because they perceived those who are going to teach him there to be his students. But if we cannot have the PhD, then we should replace the word added advantage with distinct. A PhD will be a distinct advantage.
Very well, Karoli. And finally, let me go back to the growers of coffee, Honorable Gichimo.
Yes. Chair.
What's your point of order, Honorable Tienda
There's
Molo?
a matter.
Order, Gichimo. Senior Counsel Tienda Molo is
Thank you.
point of
Thank
order.
you, Chairman. Chairman, on the substantive issue, I withhold my comments for now. But on the comment by Honorable Karoli Omondi, may the record reflect that the late Professor Okoth Ogendo actually went to the Kenya School of Law finally. And he was actually my pupil. So before he passed on, Professor Okoth Ogendo was actually an advocate of the High Court. This is a house of record. Things must be set right. Thank you.
Very well, Gichimu. Finally, we rest it there.
Thank you. I agree that we strike a balance, that we have someone who holds a master's degree. Minimum in the relevant field from a university recognized in Kenya. Other things like added advantage usually come in the advertisement. So once we put it there, of course, it goes without saying that someone who is higher qualified already has an advantage.
Members, we can now take it to the guillotine. And therefore, honorable members, I now put the question that clause 79 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 79 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. It's taken. Mover. Mover, please proceed.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Coffee Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments.
Thank you, honorable members. I put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House the consideration of the Coffee Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I want to thank the members who are here up to very late in the night dealing with the Coffee Bill, and they were able to do the heavy lifting, and the fact that we have now concluded it. Honorable members, let's move to the next bill. And this is the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 61 of 2022 by Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Clause 3.
I propose the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. Mover. Chair. Okay.
Honorable Chair, I move that clause 3 be amended as per the order paper. This is this act applies to medically assisted reproductive process, whether or not the process is completed outside the human body. I think this just to clarify about the process.
I propose the question that clause 3 be amended as proposed by the chair. Honorable Kaluma.
Yes, Chair, I support that amendment as moved by the chair because it speaks clearly to the object and what is at the heart of this particular bill, and later an act of parliament if parliament were to pass it. So that I support. Save to indicate that I have an additional amendment in terms of a proposed clause 3B, which I'll be moving after we pass this amendment of the committee chair.
Very well, but your amendments will fall if this one is carried. You are aware of that?
No. Chair, if you look at my proposed amendment 3A, is exactly what the chair is proposing. In 3B, I'm making an addition.
So what will fall will be your 3A?
Yes.
Very well. Honorable Kaluma, could you approach the table? This is a very important bill. Kaluma, just approach the table for 1 minute. So, Honorable Kaluma and the Chair, you'll have also to consult Honorable Kaluma. But meanwhile, we shall proceed. And Kaluma will further propose that you will have to possibly change your sitting position, because I hear you have many amendments in this one, so that you can always consult the chair. But if you are okay where you are, so be it. Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 3 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 3 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 4.
Honorable Kaluma, what is it?
Yeah, Chair, I thought that because we are in agreement with the proposal by the Chair in terms of 3, upon the passage of the Chair's amendment, I would be allowed to propose a further amendment to the new clause 3 upon adoption. I'm subject to your direction on it. And maybe, Chair, let me just explain that I agree with the Chair and the mover completely in terms of that amendment, but the additional provision I was proposing to bring in terms of the application of the Act or to whom the Act applies relates to citizens, so that we are dealing with matters of infertility for citizens of Kenya and heterosexuals, so that we don't have this thing being infiltrated.
Very well, Honorable Kaluma.
By people who have otherwise chosen to be in infertile relationships.
Very well, Honorable Kaluma. Let me hear the Chair on that. What's your point of order, Honorable Meli?
Thanks, Chair. Just on a matter of procedure, that ordinarily when the Chair has moved an amendment, since it was his amendment, any further amendment to that amendment can only be done on the, while standing at his place by the Chair himself, and not, the way Honorable Kaluma is moving. So procedurally, that process is wrong.
Honorable Meli, we are aware of that, and that's why I was bringing the Chair in.
Okay.
Very well. So could
Yeah,
you
but
allow
also,
the Chair?
Also, I just wanted to, could I please get the attention of the Chair? Chair, maybe just also to draw the attention of the Chair, that should you wish to adopt, the amendment of Honorable Kaluma, then could you please consider adopting it in the clear words that he said, that this process shall apply only to Kenyans. Because the way he's putting it is a bit convoluted, and it even implies that you can only go through assisted reproduction if you already have a child. Because it says, widowed or single-parent Kenyans who have been certified.
Order, Honorable Meli. You are now executing it.
No, I'm just informing.
We have not yet gone there.
Chair, sorry, Chair, maybe you are not understanding me, because if you choose for the Chair to actually move it, I just wanted to alert him that what Honorable Kaluma said kind of differs with what is in the paper.
Very well. Chair. Chair, you want to speak on this and want to hear you.
Chair, during the winnowing, we had agreed that this applies to only Kenyans. And I think that one we had agreed with the Honorable Kaluma and also Honorable Mili. Yeah, so I think he can do a further amendment to that. Okay.
No, Honorable Kaluma, we must make progress. You have been explaining to each other for quite some time. So I know winnowing took a long time, but for clause 3, to be specific, we are done with it. And therefore, I would really ask that Honorable Kaluma, you will do a recommittal on that particular one. He has agreed, but let's, we already put the overall question. So I want to ask you that you'll have to recommit that one at the end of it. Okay. And now that you had agreed, nobody has lost. We shall deal with it. We proceed. Yes, Kaluma, what else?
Yeah, Chair, the only thing, and I'm grateful for the opportunity because we are doing this for Kenyans in good faith, is to explain to Honorable Mili that when I say heterosexual Kenyan couples, divorced, widowed, or single parents, I'm talking of the categories which may be forced with the difficulty of infertility. I'm not excluding the fact that they're Kenyans. I'm just talking of the category to benefit within the citizenship of Kenya. And I'm saying you must have been confirmed by a person, the assisted reproductive practitioner, as being incapable of natural conception.
Very well.
That is what it is.
That attracts Millie. Yes, Millie. Honorable Millie. That attracts Millie. Yes, Millie. Honorable Millie.
Yeah. So, over $1 billion to do a small thing. Same in Tarakaniti. The other day we were told they even got money from the conditional grant, but the buildings are not complete. So we want the governors to digitize this project, to digitize the services to see leakages. And what they also need to do, our business community, especially the transporters, they have multiple levies. You transport a bag of a lorry of sand from Magweni, you pay levies. You come to Machakos, you pay levies. You come to Nairobi, you pay levies. So, Honorable Speaker, basically we are saying our governors need to digitize. They need to use the resources well, Honorable Speaker, so that our people can benefit properly, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I believe what we need to do then is to increase our oversight role. We need to visit the counties. We partner with the MCS so that we ensure the governors, the executives of the counties do proper implementation of projects, and they put in enough resources to complete a project within either 1 or 2 financial years, so that projects don't continue. A new governor comes, he shelves a project that was started by the predecessor, and basically, eventually, we don't benefit. Honorable Speaker, finally, on road maintenance levy, Honorable Speaker, I agree with the governors. I know they have gone to court. This is money that we should not give to members of National Assembly. The business of National Assembly is the same as senators, to do legislation, oversight, and representation. And anything that touches development should be done by the National Executive or the County Executive, Honorable Speaker. So, so the RLMF funds should be given directly to the governors, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I support and ask colleagues, please let us support so that by the time we go for our long recess, the governors can access more resources and the controller budget, please expedite and release resources to the counties by approving. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Senator Richard Onyonka, I would like to give you to contribute on this matter. But Senator Mariam has been here waiting the whole morning. So if we can agree, I give Senator Mariam 10 minutes and you finish with the rest of the time. Senator Mariam, please 10 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support this amendment, this mediation amendment of division of revenue. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I acknowledge and thank the members of the committees led by the co-chair, that is my party leader, UDM, none other than Captain Ali Roba, for his leadership to come up with this bill. Mr. Speaker, sharing of county, this division revenue bill is only 15%. 85% is under national government. Mr. Speaker, this 15%, it normally goes to the county, and out of that 15%, it's supposed to be 30% for development and 70% for revenue, for recurrent expenditure. Mr. Speaker, but what's going on now, it's totally different. 50% counties are using for 50% they are using, no, 80% they are using for recurrent. Now, instead of 30%, they're using 15% for development. That means our development is minimum. Mr. Speaker, since withdrawal of this finance bill, that is 2024, there is a shortfall. So indeed, the governor also supposed to streamline their expenditure. That's why the 400 million, they have reduced to 385. That shows that the county government also to be straightforward on prioritizing how to do their projects. Mr. Speaker, when we are reducing from 400 to 385, let's also remind ourselves that there is additional funds to the counties. That is housing levy, this SHIF, and also there is NSSF, and there is also industrial park. Mr. Speaker, as much as there is also additional expenditure, we need to prioritize our projects. Mr. Speaker, when we are passing this bill, that means we are taking care of the devolution, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, why am I saying that? Because devolution is working. I can prove that in Mandera County, Mr. Speaker. Currently, we are, as before, referral hospital in Mandera County. We are referring all the county, sub-counties to Mandera County Referral Hospital, but currently, under equalization fund, we are doing our surgeries in a town called Takaba and Banisa. Mr. Speaker, that shows that the county devolution is working. Mr. Speaker, also during COVID, in Mandera County, we are maintaining our ICU properly, and that means that devolution is working. Mr. Speaker, on this scenario of collection of revenue on the side of counties, Mr. Speaker, they have to put a strong mechanisms on how to increase their revenue collection. Mr. Speaker, instead of relying on county issues and the national government, for instance, there is this major dam. Mr. Speaker, the governor must prioritize the projects, because what we need currently is a major dam. We don't have to wait national government to do our project. For how long, Mr. Speaker? So as a CEO of the government, the county government, that is the governor, must sit down and focus on what is our priorities, so that at least this rain season, the flood cannot be wasted. We have to harvest water. Mr. Speaker, the government, Mr. Speaker, the county, Mr. Speaker, governors, sometimes they do the national projects instead of the county development. For instance, imagine governor doing, constructing a secondary school, classrooms, whereas there is an installed project of maternity ward. Mr. Speaker, in that scenario, they have to. That shows that they are prioritizing the national government project instead of county project. Mr. Speaker, in some counties also, there is a medical equipment which has been installed, cannot be used because, Mr. Speaker, what a shame. If a government, national government can give you meds, through the meds can give you an equipment, and the governor could just sit down, wrap his hand together, and wanted also national government to connect for him or her the equipment. Mr. Speaker, we have to, the county government must sit down and think of what to do on their project. Mr. Speaker, with all this, thank you very much, and I support.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Onyonka.
Ndugu Spika, kwa kusema ukweli, huu ndio wakati wangu wa kwanza kushughulika kwa kutoa maoni yangu kuhusu sheria hii ambayo tumetunga juzi kuhusu makadirio ya fedha ya kiserikali na maeneo ya gatuzi nchini mwetu. Ndugu Spika, nilipokuwa nikichangia wakati tulikuwa tuna mawiano na mazungumzo kuhusu hizi hela, nilikuwa mmoja wa wale wabunge wa seneti ambao nilikuwa nakataa kwa sababu fikira zangu zilikuwa, na hata sasa saa hizi fikira zangu ni kuwa zile hela ambazo county zilikuwa zimepewa zilikuwa zimetosha na hakukuwa na haja kuziondoa, kwa sababu zile pesa ambazo serikali kuu inazitumia kiasi chake ni kikubwa, kwa sababu ni 85 kwa asilimia. Lakini baada ya ndugu zangu kuchangia hapa na kuzungumza yale maneno na shida ambazo tumejipata hapo ndani, ndugu Spika, ningependa kusema hivi. Jambo la kwanza ningependa kumuuliza Mheshimiwa Rais wa nchi ya Kenya, tafadhali hakikisha ugatue zile kazi ambazo magatuzi ya kaunti zetu zote zinatakiwa kufanya na hela zao kwa mwaka ujao. Kwa sababu sasa tumefanya oversight yetu kama Nyapara, tumeangalia vitabu zote kwa makaunti yote 47, na sasa tumefika mwaka wa 2023-24, which mean kwa kizungu tunasema tuko current. Ndugu Spika, sababu ya hii ni kuwa maeneo gatuzi yetu ndiko umaskini mwingi huko. Maeneo gatuzi zetu ama makaunti vile tunaita, ndiko watu wengi wanaishi. Hapo ndiko tunahitaji mabarabara mingi, ndio tunahitaji maji, ndio tunahitaji ukulima, ndio tunahitaji madaktari kwa mashinani. Kwa hivyo ndugu Spika, ningependa kusema kuwa jambo la kwanza kama sisi kama seneti tunatakiwa kufanya ni kuhakikisha kuwa tumuulize rais kwa heshima, ahakikishe kuwa agatue zile kazi ambazo county zinatakiwa kufanya na hela zake. Jambo la pili, ningependa kusema kuwa magavana wamekuwa wakisema kila wakati kuwa hawajapata pesa za serikali, kuwa hata mishahara ilikuwa haijaja. Ndugu Spika, tungependa kuambia ndugu zetu magavana kuwa Wakenya si wajinga sasa. Wakenya wanajua na wakati gani serikali inatoa hela. Hizo hela zinafika kwa maeneo ya magatuzi, makaunti zetu mashinani, na magavana wakipata hizo pesa wanatarajiwa kuzitumia vizuri zifanye kazi. Ndugu Spika, kaunti yangu ya Kisii, nikizungumza saa hizi kwa CRF account, na gavana yangu amekuwa akiambia watu hamna pesa kutoka kwa serikali kuu, hatuna pesa kutoka serikali kuu. Shilingi bilioni 6.3 ziko kwa Central Bank. Hakuna pesa zinafanya. Wale ambao walikuwa makandarasi hawajalipwa, wafanyikazi wa kaunti wengine wanavutwa kazi, wengine wanaandikwa, kila kitu hakifanyiki, hakuna barabara. Saa hizi mvua imenyesha. Na ndugu Spika, ukiangalia zile shida ambazo ziko katika maeneo yote ya ugatuzi, na hili ndilo jambo ndugu yangu Cherargei alikuwa anasema, ukiwa na heshima unamwambia gavana wako, gavana, pesa mimi ndio nimeuliza, nimezichunga, zimekuja, ziko kwa akaunti, tafadhali utumie hizi pesa usaidie watu wetu. Ndugu Spika, anakusetea guns. Jamaa wanakuja na panga, wengine wamebeba mabunduki. Huyo senator anataka kutujenganya ugavana wetu. Huyo senator ndio mwizi. Huyo senator. Ndugu Spika, ningependa kuwaambia magavana wetu, hatuna vita na wao. Wengine wetu hata tutaki kuwa magavana. Kazi yetu ni kuhakikisha zile hela ambazo kaunti kama yangu Kisii napata kila mwaka shilingi bilioni 15. Kwa miaka miwili Kisii imepata shilingi bilioni 30. Ukitoa ndugu Spika pesa za mishahara shilingi bilioni 6.5, bilioni 13 ndio zimeenda kwa mishahara. Shilingi bilioni zingine 16 ama 12 ndizo zimebakia, zinatakiwa ziwafanyie wananchi kazi. Hamna madawa kwa hospitali. Miradi iliyokuwa inatengenezwa ya maji haifanyiki. Pesa ambazo zinatoka kwa wale wahifadhi, donor support, zote Kisii County zimesimamishwa. Sababu gani? Kwa sababu zile conditionalities donors wanasema mzifanye hii, mzifanye vile, mmezoea hiyo wizi wenu. Gavana alipoingia huko akatoa wale walikuwa wanaweka signature, akaweka wake, hakujua sheria inasema hawezi kufanya hivyo. Ukiuliza walimu wa ECD centers, nyinyi maseneta mko hapa wengi kwa maeneo gatuzi yenu, hawajalipwa mishahara. Wengine mishahara wanakula minimum wage. Unaweza kumwandika mtu afunze mtoto wako kutoka darasa la kwanza mpaka la 3 la 4 na unamlipa shilingi 7,000, ndugu Spika. Na huyo ni mtu amesoma, hata wengine wameenda chuo kikuu. Wale wahifadhi wa matibabu, community health workers, ambao ni wa vijiji, ambao mishahara yao wengine serikali ilisema itatenga hela ambazo hawa wananchi watakuwa wanapata. Nini kimefanyika ndugu Spika? Eneo la Kisii County, wale community health workers wangu hawajalipwa. Na unajua ndugu Spika, kwa kaunti ya Kisii CRF nabeba nini? Shilingi bilioni 6 baba. Sasa shida zetu Kenya hii ndizo hizo. Kuna ufisadi, kuna wizi, kuna lack of management. Yani mtu anashindwa kuwa manager. Pengine Spika, tuanze kujiuliza kama Wakenya, ule mtu anataka awe governor, jameni, tunataka aende shule gani? Kwa sababu wengi wao kazi imewashinda ndugu Spika. Wengi wao akija ni kuwavuta kazi ya ule gavana aliyekuwa mwanzo aliyemtangulia, awaondoe wale jamaa, kwa sababu hao watu hawako kwa ukoo wake. Alete wake wa ukoo huo awaweke pale kazi, akivunja sheria, ili wao ndio walimpigia kura. Ndio sababu wanataka kuambia, hawaelezea kuwa yeye ndio mzuri na ule gavana aliyekuwa mbeleni hapo ni mbaya. Ndugu Spika, na hawa jamaa wote wanaitwa wa Kisii. Hawa jamaa wote ni wa Kenya. Hawa jamaa wote wanalipa ushuru. So yale mambo ambayo yanatukera, kama mimi mambo yanaonishinda ni kuwa tumefika mahala ambako lazima kama Wakenya tujiulize, hizi hela ambazo wananchi wa Kenya wanatoa kama ushuru, hizi hela tunataka tuzilinde vipi? Zinatakiwa zifanye, kwa sababu unaona juzi, na namheshimu sana gavana wa Kakamega, nilikuwa huko kwa huo mkutano, sikutaka kujibu. Anasema kuwa controller ndiye anamnyima pesa. Tunajua kuna mahala ambako controller ndio amekataza magavana wengine wazitoe pesa. Lakini vile ndugu yangu Cherargei alisema, ndugu yangu Speaker, governor anaweza kuenda yale malipo kwa sababu wakitoa CIDP zile pesa zinakuja zinaingia kwa IFMIS inatoa control of budget, na Ministry of Finance wanafanya ile entry ambako wanasema hizi hela mmefanya budget, yule ambaye atalipwa kazi amefanya ni hii, recurrent ni hii na development na hii. Magavana wanafunga hawa jamaa wasilipwe, alafu wanaleta zile makampuni wanaotaka, wanaleta wale mabibi zao na wale watu wa jamii wao ambao wana kandarasi, ndio sasa wanawalipa, wanawacha wale walikuwa wamefanya kazi miaka 3, miaka 4, miaka 5 iliyobaki. Shida yetu Kenya ndio hii, kuwa maendeleo ambayo tunayozungumza, katiba iliyoandikwa nchi yetu hii ya mwaka 2010 ni katiba ilikuwa ilete usawa kwa nchi yetu. Ni katiba ambayo ilikuwa matarajio yake na uwezo wake ni kuwa tulikuwa tuna haja ya kuondoa ufisadi katika maendeleo ya Wakenya ili tujaribu kumaliza umaskini nchini kwetu. Yale ambayo yamepatikana sasa, ndugu Spika, serikali kuu inapora 85%, magavana washika 15, wanapora wanamaliza hiyo. Alafu sasa ndio juzi, ndugu Spika, uliona tukisema enda hapa Kilimani utaona ni kina nani wana manyumba makubwa. Tembea mahali kokote, wa magavana wengine wanadhani wananchi ni wajinga. Hao wakiiba pesa hapo ndio wanajenga masupermarket na wananchi wanaona. Si ati ni vibaya wananchi wajue ati ni wao wamejenga, lakini yale tunayosema, ndugu Spika, hatuwezi kuwa na huruma kwa watu wetu. Miaka 60 watu wetu hana maji ya kunywa. Vile tulienda kwa Mheshimiwa Lomaken Turkana, boss, county ambayo imechukua shilingi bilioni 112 baada ya miaka 10 haina maji ya kunywa mji kwa town, na maji ambayo yako chini kwa milima ya aqueduct ya Turkana Lake, hiyo mto unapita hapo kwenu unaitwa nini? Huu mto wa katikati Takwel, mto wa Takwel. Maji yako hapo sijui ni trilioni 2 ya maji. Ile kitu natakikana ni maji kulimwa yapelekwa kwa mlima wananchi wapate maji. I say bwana Speaker, bilioni 100 hamwezi tengeza maji. Kaunti yangu miaka 2 sasa, Kisii County, wamepata shilingi bilioni 32 baada ya miaka 2. Na ukitembea mahala hamna. Stadium Kisii haijatengenezwa. Mahospitali hakuna madawa. Hapo kwa hiyo hospitali hakuna maji. Wale watu ambao wanakuja zamani na wengine hawa magavana wanasema ati on source revenue tume increase. Sasa nime increase yangu mpaka 75%. Sasa mimi natengeneza 800. Hamna. Zile pesa wanaita on source revenue ni zile pesa wanavuja kutoka wapi? Kutoka kwa hospitali zile ndogo ndogo na hizi hospitali kubwa, kwa sababu wananchi hawana option. Gavana ambaye amefanya kazi ya kuokota hela ambazo ni ushuru wananchi wa Murang'a wamelipa, huyu gavana wa Murang'a amefanya kazi nzuri, ndugu Spika. Ametumia teknolojia, anaenda anaokota hela kutoka kwa wale ambao wanajenga, wale ambao wana nyumba, wale ambao shilingi bilioni 1.5. Na sababu ni hii, wale ambao wako kwa komiti yake ya kimaendeleo ni wale vigogo wamefanya biashara kutoka mlima kule juu Murang'a. Waangalie mwenye Equity Bank, waangalie mwenye hawa jamaa wote. Asante ndugu Spika kwa kunipa hii fursa.
Senator Onyonka, this debate shall resume in the afternoon.
Thank you.
You will have a remainder of 8 minutes.
Thank you.
Honorable Senators, it is now 1 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until later today, Wednesday, 27th November 2024 at 2:30 p.m.
We need,
okay.
Yes, but the government language is directorate.
Finally,
Government
Doctor,
language.
you know, Dr.
Chair, thank you, and I think we are doing very well on this bill.
Okay.
Because we seem to concur. Some unit is required that will keep this information, which is over and above what you'd normally have for other patients. And I think we agreed we do it in the Medical Practitioner Dentist Council, but we'll need your guidance, Chair, on how we do that, because if we just delete this, where then do we bring in the issue of the Medical Practitioner Dentist Council to do the job which we have all agreed should be done?
Thank you, Dr. Ari, and that's why I bring in the chair, and remember that has been the pet subject of Honorable Millie. No, let's hear the chair now.
Chair, when Honorable Kaluma brought this issue, initially we thought we can do it under the Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council. But after further consultations between me and the Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council and the ministry, we felt it is still the idea of which is in the, that we put it as a directorate. That is because the Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council will still have a function in terms of registration and licensing of facilities, and even determining the qualifications of who runs, whether it's an embryologist or whoever, who runs those facilities. So I think the deletion, I would urge Honorable Kaluma to drop it so that we allow the committee amendment where we retain it the way it is, that we need to have a directorate within the Ministry of Health that is solely responsible, because this is a specialized area, and there is nothing wrong with having a directorate that deals with assisted reproductive technology, because it does not cost an extra cost. It is still just reorganization of the ministry.
We are closing ranks, Honorable Kaluma.
Chair, I appeared before the committee, and as Honorable Millie confirms, I was able to persuade all of us who were before the committee during harmonization on the need not to establish a directorate to deal with matters, the mandate of which are already given by statute to the Kenya Medical Dentists Council. And Chair, I have given good reasons for it. I'm still not persuaded. Before the chair spoke, on an amendment instead of a total deletion to clause 5 to say that the Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council shall establish a secretariat to be known as the Assisted Reproductive Technology Secretariat. That way, it will then, flow. When we start creating directorate for every facet of health, Chair, you can imagine how many we are going to establish. And they also have ramifications on the finances of the state. But beyond that, my fear about establishing our own directorate, if you then see the things being mandated not only as matters under the remit of Kenya Medical Practitioners Dentist Council, but will also be creating a structure for commercial surrogacy, which we have already prohibited. In fact, look at all jurisdictions where altruistic surrogacy is permitted. And but there across the world, I appeared before the committee with an outline in terms of assisted reproduction across the world. Commercial surrogacy is prohibited because of that convention I read. Now, they don't prohibit words like directorate, commissioning parent, and I think I persuaded the committee on this because it brings the idea of commerce, not a directorate, but let us have a secretariat. A secretariat that licenses practitioners, that sets the guidelines that we are talking about here, that establishes, in my view, Chair, with clarity, the procedure for licensing and supervision of clinics, but within Kenya Medical Practitioners. Thank you, Chair.
What's your point of order, Honorable Millie? and we are constrained with time also.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I think we just need to be clear that in the early amendment, we have actually outlawed commercial surrogacy. So it does not even arise. It will not arise even as we go on. But listening to what the chair said, because there's been a very consultative process. Personally, as Millie, because I'm not a medic, I really don't care where it's situated so long as there's structure and regulation. But the ministry, people are the ones who have advised. In fact, they are the ones who advised me to create a directorate. We had actually initially created a different body, and they are the ones who, but they told me,
Proceed,
they didn't tell me. Yeah, you can't have a point of order on a point of order. And Chair, they are the ones who actually advised us to come with that. But that aside, personally, I don't care. It can be put in a village directory, it can be put in a village, whatever, so long as we have something that ensures some form of regulation. So I would want to defer to the chairs because they are the experts on this issue.
Honorable Millie, thank you for those sentiments. And Honorable Kaluma, we are constrained with time. No, Honorable Kaluma, we are constrained with time. And therefore, the chair will hold on there. We shall actually stop there. I'll give you a chance over lunch hour to just do a tete-a-tete. Because I see you are trying to make a very good law. I'm very constrained to put the question because I see the losses that will ensure, and therefore we shall end there for now. Next. Mover. Mover to report.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 61 of 2022, up to clause 4, and its approval thereof with amendments, and seek leave to sit again.
Very well. Honorable members, I put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Bill number 61 of 2022, up to clause 4, and its approval thereof with amendments, and seek leave to sit again. Will as many as without opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Honorable members, we'll start with the coffee bill. Chairperson.
Happy Mike. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the coffee bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2023, and approved the same with amendments.
Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also want to request Honorable Professor Chaldesa to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Professor.
I second.
Honorable members, I therefore propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. We shall prosecute the assisted reproductive Now, Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Bill number 61 of 2022, up to clause 4, and approved the same with amendments.
And the time being 1:13 p.m., this House stands adjourned until today, Wednesday, 27th November 2024 at 2:30 p.m.